GetJim.com.
KFTK FM Florissant. From the Under Law Injury Lawyers GetJim.com studio.
That's GetJim.com.
97.1 FM Talk. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
They'll be less than 60 miles apart. Lisa Brady, Fox News. Former President Trump and Vice President Harris both holding rallies in North Carolina as Harris tries to distance herself from what President Biden said about Trump supporters being garbage, later clarifying he was referring to a comedian's hateful rhetoric at a Trump rally. Harris telling reporters she won't criticize Americans for who they vote for.
The American people actually want a leader.
Or the drop box at the early voting location in your county. That way you're protecting your vote.
Gabe Sterling with the Georgia Secretary of State's office. The state is one of many requiring mail-in ballots be received by the end of polling on Election Day, no matter what date a ballot is postmarked.
Fox's Evan Brown. More than 52 million Americans have voted already in person or by absentee ballot. America is listening to Fox News.
Moments like hearing my cat purr good morning mean a lot to me. But after being diagnosed with metastatic breast cancer, or MBC, which is breast cancer that is spread to other parts of the body, they mean even more. I take Ibrance, palbociclib.
Ibrance 125 milligram tablets with an aromatase inhibitor is for adults with HR-positive, HER2-negative MBC as the first hormonal-based therapy. Ask your doctor about Ibrance and visit Ibrance.com. Ibrance may cause low white blood cell counts that may lead to serious infections. Ibrance may cause severe inflammation of the lungs. Both of these can lead to death. Tell your doctor right away if you have new or worsening symptoms, including trouble breathing, shortness of breath, cough, or chest pain. Before taking Ibrance, tell your doctor if you have fever, chills, or other signs of infection, liver or kidney problems, are or plan to become pregnant, or are breastfeeding. Common side effects include low red blood cell and low platelet counts, infections, tiredness, nausea, sore mouth, abnormalities in liver blood tests, diarrhea, hair thinning or loss, vomiting, rash, and loss of appetite.
Air Comfort Service, heating, cooling, and insulation. Weather.
Windy and warm with plenty of sunshine on this Wednesday afternoon. 84 for the high tonight. A couple of thunder showers developing primarily after midnight. 64. Halloween Thursday, morning showers. Temperatures in the 60s but falling into the 50s Thursday afternoon under partly sunny skies. Trick-or-treat time, 49-50. Clear skies going down to 42 Thursday night. This is 97.1 FM Talk. Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
When you're hiring for your business, ZipRecruiter's powerful matching technology makes finding qualified candidates for your job easy. This made us wonder, what if the rest of the world was as easy as ZipRecruiter? Math problems wouldn't be so problematic.
K equals 42.
Escape rooms? Elementary. And summiting Everest would be a walk in the park. In the meantime, if you want to make your hiring easier, use ZipRecruiter. And right now, you can try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. In fact, 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Simple. So, see what the world is like when ZipRecruiter does the hard work of hiring for you. Just go to ZipRecruiter.com/radio to try ZipRecruiter for free. Once again, that's ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter.com/radio.
Missouri's Amendment 3 is cleverly worded to convince you that it only allows abortions until fetal viability. But it has loopholes that allow for abortions through all 9 months of pregnancy. Abortion proponents used to say safe, legal, and rare. But now they want abortion as common as the morning after pill. Plus, minor-age children will have access to sex change surgeries without parental consent. Vote no on Amendment 3.
Paid for by Leadership for America PAC, John B. Royal Treasurer.
Outdoor Living Redefined, brought to you by Lakeside Renovation and Design, your trusted partner in crafting stunning decks, inviting screened rooms, and elegant porch overhangs. Imagine enjoying a crisp morning coffee on your beautifully designed deck, or hosting gatherings in a spacious screened room. Lakeside turns your vision into reality. Our skilled craftsmen use top-notch materials to create spaces that stand up to the elements and stand out in style. Elevate your lifestyle with Lakeside's outdoor living expertise. Visit our showroom or call Lakeside Renovation and Design today.
What better way to support your nutrition than with the multivitamin that was created right here in St. Louis? Neovitin Original Multivitamin was created by St. Louis physician Dr. Ribicki to support his own nutrition when he needed it most. Now, Neovitin Original Multivitamin is formulated with sensible doses of vitamins, minerals, antioxidants, and Dr. Ribicki's proprietary blend to give you nutritional support you won't find anywhere else. Neovitin is now conveniently available through our no-obligation monthly subscription. Cancel or pause at any time, and shipping is free. Support your nutrition with a subscription to Neovitin at neovitin.com today.
When you're trying to find quality candidates, all the searching, screening, and interviewing can become a job itself. You need Indeed, the all-in-one platform that makes it easy to interview, screen, and hire quality people. Visit Indeed.com/credit.
That is exactly what I needed to hear.
Thank God someone here knows what you're talking about.
That's us. That's right. Gotta love this American ride.
All right, you need to take the time and get the full picture.
Come on, turn the radio on. It's Saturday and I won't be long.
Don't get me wrong. I love the ladies. I mean, they rev my engine, but they don't belong in the newsroom. It is Anchor Man, not Anchor Lady.
What do you want from me? I'm not America's sweetheart.
Goodness sake, kid. Keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Fry Show.
We are 1 week away from maybe possibly knowing who the next president of the United States is going to be. How does that make you feel? It makes me feel anxious. Hopefully a little good, too. Every day is a new day. Every story that we cover in this news cycle here, does it change the course of anything? When you were this close to the election, can anything change the course, the natural outcome of this election? Kamala Harris is obviously still trying, as is Donald Trump. She is speaking right now. Was she in North Carolina? Where
they both were. Yeah.
North Carolina. Do they carpool?
They call one another.
They
in the
drive
morning.
past each other, but they don't look at each other.
Yeah, like, look away, look away. Let's listen to Kamala Harris. Just for a minute, don't go anywhere. Just, you have to bear with me, folks. Listen to Kamala Harris here from North Carolina.
Has started. Here in Wake County, you can vote early now through Saturday, November 2nd. And we need you to vote early, North Carolina. Because we have just 6 days left in one of the most consequential elections of our lifetime. And we have work to do. But we like hard work. Hard work is good work. Hard work is joyful work. And make no mistake, we will win.
Well, the crowd loves to hear that. As I said, North Carolina, listening to Kamala Harris making some of her final pitches to the voters to say, get out there and vote. Isn't it funny that they're guaranteed to be at least somebody in that crowd? And same with Trump's crowd, who's going to not vote.
I guess.
I mean, there's got to be somebody.
That would be true.
We talk about the plan, make a plan to vote. The point of voting early is so that nothing gets in your way. You get it done when it's easy and convenient for you. You show up, you vote, you make your voice be heard, and then it's banked and it's done. There are people who are going to think that they're voting on Election Day, and they are not going to do it.
Mm-hmm.
Don't
because
be that
of a
person.
Blizzard.
In a snow woman. Amy Klobuchar will forever live in my life as Snow Woman, which I guess is maybe what she was trying to accomplish. So the big story in the last 24 hours, last night, of course, Kamala Harris speaking at the Ellipse. I haven't seen any, and I haven't sought them out. I only saw what was really shown initially on Fox, so it is what it is there. of her crowd. I know that the guesstimation is somewhere between 75,000. She said 100,000. Did you see any crowds that look like that to you?
I never saw any pictures of the crowd, so it was hard to tell.
Did you?
No, I didn't either.
I don't. Like I said earlier, when Donald Trump says that there are 100,000 people there, I'm like, there are probably 5,000 people there. Because I think the math is just crazy to think that many people would show up. But then you look at the Trump rally in Madison Square Garden, you know it was sold out, and you know that they were lined in the streets for blocks and blocks and blocks and blocks and blocks. It's just a really massive thing. We've been to Trump rallies. I've been to multiple ones, and I've seen how the sea of people goes as far as the eye can see. And it's really quite something to see. And that was in the midterm election before he was, specifically running himself to be the president of the United States. So last night at the Donald Trump rally, was this one in Pennsylvania? Probably, I think. Marco Rubio comes on the stage.
So we're thrilled to be joined by some incredible people. I already mentioned Senator Marco Rubio. Marco, will you come up here, please? Come on. Good man, this one. Thank you, Marco. Thank you. You want to say something? Go ahead.
All right. Well, I wasn't going to say anything, but I have breaking news for you, Mr. President. You may not have heard this. Just moments ago, Joe Biden stated that our supporters are garbage. Are garbage. He's talking about the Border Patrol. He's talking about nurses. He's talking about teachers. He's talking about everyday Americans who love their country and want to dream big again and support you, Mr. President. And I hope their campaign is about to apologize for what Joe Biden just said. We are not garbage. We are patriots who love America. And thank you for running, Mr. President.
Marco Rubio shakes his hand, walks off the stage, and delivers that right to Donald Trump in front of everybody. Donald Trump, like the deplorables thing, I can't call anything deplorable ever without also thinking about Hillary Clinton.
Yeah, that word's gone for a generation.
You can take campaign ad after campaign ad after campaign ad. And, of course, it's nice to think about talking about, we've done this on the show, where you get so sick of the negativity, where we had people call in and advocate for their candidate, but you could only say positive things about your candidate, which we should do again this week. Mm-hmm. You couldn't say anything negative about the other person. Can you advocate for your guy to be or girl to be the president of the United States without saying negative things about the other side? We get people who call in from the left all the time when we open the phones and do a phone, like a phone Friday or something like that. Nobody called in and seriously advocated for Kamala Harris that day.
It was a little bit of a shock because we had issued the challenge.
Yeah. And I mean, very genuinely, honestly would like to hear someone make the case for Kamala Harris, and we would treat you with the exact same respect as anybody who was making the converse. Couldn't do it. And if people decided to go rogue and to go bad, we gave them the buzzer and we dumped them. It was fun.
It was fun. It was a little tough because some people were saying things that we weren't sure whether they were being sarcastic or not. There was a little bit of gamesmanship happening, but it was fun.
This is, Donald Trump brought Marco Rubio up. I heard Kayleigh McEnany saying on Outnumbered earlier, Kayleigh McEnany was saying that she remembers being with the campaign, and every once in a while there'd be breaking news happening in the middle of a rally, and one time she had to go, they shuffled her up to the front where Donald Trump could see her with a sign that said whatever the news was, so that he could react to that. So Marco Rubio doing that. And then Donald Trump responded after Marco Rubio delivered those comments.
So remember Hillary, she said deplorable, and then she said irredeemable, right? But she said deplorable. That didn't work out. Garbage, I think, is worse. Right?
Is it worse?
I think so.
I mean, deplorable garbage is dehumanizing.
Yeah.
Garbage is such that it's like your value. I mean, I don't know. Deplorable is not dehumanizing. It just is saying that you're like making an active choice to be that way. So the question is this blown out of proportion because of what Marco Rubio said? Was he not telling the truth in the way that Joe Biden said garbage? Like, then you have the White House comes out and they try to clarify remarks from them. Is that did the president of the United States, the current person serving in the administration with Kamala Harris, the person who wants to represent all Americans. Did he really, maybe we just heard it wrong.
Or Puerto Rico, where I'm in my home state of Delaware, they're good, decent, honorable people. The only garbage I see floating out there is his supporters. His demonization of seen as unconscionable, and it's un-American.
The most clear thing he says there in the whole, what is that, 20 seconds of something? The clearest thing he says there is that Trump supporters are garbage. He's not mixing his words up there. He is clearly stating what he thinks and probably speaking too much in the process of trying to elevate the comment that was made by a comic that the Trump campaign put on stage at the rally, talking about how Puerto Rico, the country, is covered in trash. That was what the makings of that joke was. Now, if you live in the city of St. Louis, if you work in the city of St. Louis, you know that if you go to areas around here in downtown St. Louis, that there are areas that are covered in trash. We just don't care for them. This building out here on Tucker, we talked about graffiti the other day. There's more on there. And this week, there's more. The thing that keeps getting put up there is city takeover. CTO is something that gets tagged everywhere in the city. It's just there. Nobody gives a crap. When you see something and you call something out like that, you're asking for it to be changed. When you ask a comedian who is a roast comedian to come onto the stage, you're playing with fire there. But I have another theory on that I'm going to get to here in a second. This comedian spoke at a Trump rally, but apart from Donald Trump. Donald Trump has never met this comedian before. I think it's worthy of judging the political acumen that went into putting that particular comedian on stage to do what that comedian does. That's why, he has call it a skill or whatever. He has something to offer, and the Trump campaign put him on the stage, and he gave what he does. The Harris campaign brought somebody in like Beyonce, gave her 4 minutes to do an endorsement, and she got off the stage. Now, people went to the Madison Square Garden thing to see Kill Tony do jokes. They got jokes, and the Trump campaign is paying for it. You have supporters who went to see Kamala Harris and Beyonce, and they didn't get anything from Beyonce. So there's a frustration that exists there. Since the Madison Square Garden rally, all we have heard from the left is that Donald Trump thinks that Puerto Ricans are trash. That when they heard that was like liquid gold to them, to be able to use that in a campaign capacity against Donald Trump to say, this is how Donald Trump feels about Puerto Ricans. Never mind the fact that there were Republicans who came out specifically in Florida immediately and was like, this does not reflect my values, Floridian Republican values, so on and so forth. And the Trump campaign also came out and said that Kill Tony's comments did not reflect those of the campaign. So they immediately came out and said that. Last night, the guy who's currently serving in office with Kamala Harris, the guy who chose Kamala Harris to be his vice president, the guy who stepped aside, to allow Kamala Harris to take the reins so that she could continue this on, is out there telling us that Trump supporters are garbage. This is the same president who we heard weeks before he stepped out of the race, that Kamala Harris bragging about how she was in every meeting. She was the last one in the room. She's with him all the time. They talk to each other all the time. They're in lockstep. They're singing from the same page. All of the different things that we heard over and over and over and over again about how close and tight-knit and supportive specifically Kamala Harris is to Joe Biden. Last night, we hear that Joe Biden thinks that if you support Trump, you're garbage. That's the mood of the Democrat Party right now. That's the way they feel about the people who may not vote for them. Well, Kamala Harris wanted to step out, and she wanted to make sure that everybody had a very clear, unquestionable understanding of her opinion. So she went and stood next to her airplane to respond to the garbage comment.
President Biden put this comment last night about garbage.
Listen, I think that, first of all, he clarified his comments, but let me be clear. I strongly disagree with any criticism of people based on who they vote for. You heard my speech last night and continuously throughout my career. I believe that the work that I do is about representing all the people, whether they support me or not. And as President of the United States, I will be a president for all Americans, whether you vote for me or not.
Ryan, what do you think about that?
I think it's the only course. I think it's the only thing that she could say.
See? I think Ryan's exactly right. I think that's really well said. Congratulations.
Thank you very much. It's why I get paid the big bucks to do the messaging.
Right now, the engineers are like, what's the matter with the signal? What's the matter with the signal? I'm sorry, it's just my plane.
Hey, you know what? At least she was willing to take questions. Glad to see that from a presidential candidate.
She did say that she, in that lovely clip there, she did say that she doesn't think that she doesn't want to demean people who don't vote for her. She wants to be a president for all. Lady, you have been saying that Donald Trump is Hitler, and you called the Madison Square Garden rally a Nazi rally. Hitler didn't go do big events for just like a bunch of Jewish people. Who went to Hitler's events? Who cheered Hitler on? And if you're talking about Donald Trump being Hitler, and if you are constantly over and over and over again driving home the point that Donald Trump is a threat to democracy, that he's a scary man, that he absolutely needs to be stopped from your current president of the United States, that he needs to be locked up. If you're saying all of that about him, and you are just boldly saying that he is having Nazi rallies, you are calling Trump supporters Nazis, which is worse than Joe Biden calling. I'd rather be garbage than a Nazi. That should have been the poll today.
Would you rather be garbage or a Nazi?
Yeah, garbage. Hi, I'm trash. I mean, these people, like, you can't just be like, oh, no. Yeah. I love all America's people.
Right, yeah. In light of the president of the United States who you're serving under right now saying, they're all garbage. The other thing that's really funny about, this is a Nazi rally, that basically these are all Nazis. Does that include the non-white voters that are there? Like the black voters, the Hispanic voters, the Jewish voters, you're calling them all Nazis? You don't make any sense.
No, they don't. But they don't need to make sense. They're just trying to tap into your feels, and they only need to do it for 6 more days. And I would have loved to have been there when Kamala Harris found out that Joe Biden said that we were garbage.
I would, too.
I would have been like... Anyway, YouTube live chat poll for today. Big one. Can't wait to read your comments on this. If you go to the Annie Fry YouTube channel in the live broadcast right now, you can see this question and you can vote. Do Democrat elites really think Trump supporters are garbage? Yes or no? Do they believe it? Was that a slip of the tongue? That was a showing of the heart of Joe Biden and how the rest of those up in the high places of the Democratic Party feel about people like maybe you, maybe me. Or is that just Joe Biden being crazy Uncle Joe and he said something he didn't really mean it? Could be both. Can't wait to hear what you think about it, but you got to vote in the Annie Fry YouTube live chat poll. The next guest on the show coming up right after this break, Tammy Bruce, man, if you are in need of a dose of adrenaline and calm, you want to hear Tammy Bruce on the Annie Fry Show next. She's a Fox News contributor and AMAC columnist, but her book right now, listen, this is the book that you want to be reading before Election Day. Fear Itself, Exposing the Left's Mind-Killing Agenda. It kind of just takes the air out of their balloon and gives you a little extra boost. Tammy Bruce on the Annie Fry Show, next.
You're listening to The Annie Fry Show. The Annie Fry Show is streaming online. Watch us live on YouTube and subscribe.
Jen Teskey and Remax Alliance, easy to get a hold of them. You can go to jenteskeyhomes.com, K-E, Teskey, JenTeskeyHomes.com. And they are with RE/MAX Alliance. What a great, strong realtor company that is. And Jen Teskey, she knows the navigational challenges that come through listing and buying in Illinois. So if you're looking to purchase a home, please consider calling her or texting her and finding out exactly the answers to the questions that you need to know, the guidance that you need in order to have a successful listing and sale, or to kind of get your bearings on what you're looking for, how easy it might be to find that. You reach her at 618-541-1010, 618-541-1010. When you call her, you're going to let her know that you heard about her on the Annie Fry Show. She's got a great team. You talk to any of them there, and they're going to help guide you through this process. Wonderful experience with the Jen Teskey team at RE/MAX Alliance. 618-541-1010, 618-541-1010. You can find her online at JenTeskeyHomes.com.
Hi, I'm Bob Kershaw with Retirement Advisory Group. Are you worried about market volatility in this election year? Are you concerned your money won't last you through retirement?
Hi, I'm Tammy Kershaw, and as a family-owned business, we are committed to protecting your retirement, whether you're nearing retirement or already retired. We have a lot of folks that aren't aware of all the new investment choices that are available, which give you growth and protection from losses at the same time. Are you aware of all the fees that you are currently paying? We can show you how to avoid those fees. So come in now for your free retirement review and get a second opinion on your retirement plan. And just for coming in, you'll get a copy of our latest edition book, Your Key to a Worry-Free Retirement. Let us show you how to retire with confidence.
We are proud to say we haven't lost a penny of our clients' money in 38 years, and we won't lose a penny of yours either. Let our family help your family. Call us now at 314-993-9494 or go online to retirementkey.com. That's retirementkey.com.
Moments like making my kids my famous meatballs mean a lot to me. But after being diagnosed with metastatic breast cancer, or MBC, which is breast cancer that has spread to other parts of the body, they mean even more. I take Ibrance, palbociclib.
Ibrance 125 milligram tablets with an aromatase inhibitor is for adults with HR-positive, HER2-negative NBC as the first hormonal-based therapy. Ask your doctor about Ibrance and visit Ibrance.com. Ibrance may cause low white blood cell counts that may lead to serious infections. Ibrance may cause severe inflammation of the lungs. Both of these can lead to death. Tell your doctor right away if you have new or worsening symptoms, including trouble breathing, shortness of breath, cough, or chest pain. Before taking Ibrance, tell your doctor if you have fever, chills, or other signs of infection, liver or kidney problems, are or plan to become pregnant, or are breastfeeding. Common side effects include low red blood cell and low platelet counts, infections, tiredness, nausea, sore mouth, abnormalities in liver blood tests, diarrhea, hair thinning or loss, vomiting, rash, and loss of appetite.
Jewels on Hampton in St. Louis Hills is paying some of the highest prices on gold, silver, diamonds, semi-precious colored stones, and fine watches on site. Jewels on Hampton is a premier jeweler with an exquisite selection of diamonds, semi-precious stone jewelry, and vintage watches. Their expert design team can restyle your jewelry to today's contemporary style. They also do jewelry and watch repair. Need extra cash? Jewels on Hampton is paying some of the highest prices on gold, silver, diamonds, semi-precious colored stones, and fine watches. Bring your collectibles and clocks, sports memorabilia, and figurines too. Jewels on Hampton, 4506 Hampton, just 3 blocks south of Chippewa. Call them at 314-752-5000. That's 314-752-5000. So if you need some extra cash, looking for that one-of-a-kind piece, make Jewels on Hampton your first stop. Jewels on Hampton in St. Louis Hills.
You're listening to the Annie Fry Show live from the Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Insulation Studio. Fall weather is on its way. Time to schedule your heating system check to make sure you heat your home safely. Schedule your heating system check today at aircomfortservice.com.
It's the most critical election of our time. The stakes have never been higher.
So grab your popcorn and MAGA hats and let's party.
Join the Annie Fry Show for an online watch party. Details at 971talk.com. This is the Annie Fry Show. The Annie Fry Show is streaming online. Watch us live on YouTube and subscribe.
I've been a rock and I got my fences. I never let them down. When it comes to love, I
your biggest obstacle in life right now?
My biggest obstacle in life? Trump. Trump, absolutely. So
do you wake up and think about him?
Yes, constantly, every day.
Do you go to sleep and think about him?
Yes, every day.
Are you in love with him?
I hate his guts.
This guy, are you in love with him? Why don't you marry him? This man is standing, I don't know, this is not the Lincoln Memorial. I think this is the Supreme Court, maybe, that he's standing in front of. And he's holding up a sign that looks like a cartoon baby in like a jail cell in black and white stripes, but Donald Trump's face is on it. And this guy is just openly admitting how much he detests and thinks about Donald Trump all the time. What are these people going to do if Donald Trump wins next week? Well, we bring our friend Tammy Bruce back on the show with us, a Fox News contributor, AMAC columnist, and her book, which is must read before the election gets here, Fear Itself, Exposing the Left's Mind-Killing Agenda. Tammy Bruce, I think we have a mind-killed victim here. This guy's not okay.
Yeah, you know, but it is the perfect distraction. That's what the left always needs, is the shiny object that keeps you from looking at them. Because then you might start asking some questions about why your life is the way it is. But if you've got the shiny object and you can train people to look at the thing, which now happens to be, Donald Trump, then it keeps you quelled. And, you know, I think obviously everybody's thinking about Donald Trump. And that is, I mean, there's a reason for that, because he's charismatic, because he's a character, because he is charming. You know, that McDonald's event shocked people because even the haters were like, oh, my God, this is adorable. And so the moment you can get out of that, because it's a very fragile thing to keep people hating all the time, the moment you can get out of that for a minute, that's why the hate is promoted constantly. And the McDonald's thing was so brilliant. But it's also for those who, I think for people who admire President Trump, there is so little in the country now to admire. There are so few people to admire. So you wonder, it's like, is this love, or is it admiration, or as the song says, fascination? Maybe it's a little bit of all of it, but it's a great reminder, and it's frankly for those who are uplifted by the potential and the positivity. It's a reminder that there is always more. That as you know, Scarlett O'Hara would say, tomorrow is another day, and that we always have so many options. And that one guy, and actually two guys, I was at that rally at Madison Square Garden, Elon Musk, people love him for a reason. And it was a chance for him to hear that love and to experience it. And he was very moved. And I was very, very happy for him. So we are getting role models that are not about totalitarianism, but about positivity, hope for the future, that people matter, and that it's an upward-looking, forward-looking vision.
Oh, man, you know what you're talking about here is hope. And it's interesting to me that we're actually seeing the manifestation of hope from a real, genuine place, a real understanding of what the stakes are right now, when we're questioning whether or not we want the fourth term of the hope and change that we were sold so long ago. And Barack Obama has been he's been very committed to that idea of fundamentally transforming the United States of America. Now it looks like it might be slipping through their hands for, ironically, actual hope.
Well, you know, and that was it. That's the thing that unites Americans. There's not any person who doesn't want to look forward to the future. I mean, that's just, natural with living things. And you need to be able, and nature is geared to having us all be successful. So you got to work really hard at tricking people into believing that blowing up their country is a good move. And that's the energy that, when Barack Obama was talking about, quote, hope, it wasn't what we're talking about now, which is belief in the individual. He was moving through this idea that people are bad and individuals can't be trusted and they cling to their guns and religion, and that people can't run their own lives, and that they need the benevolent, wonderful dictator in the form of government to tell them how to live their lives. And that's a form of malignant narcissism.
Yes.
And it means that only you matter, and that being for Obama and his cohort. And so that was, for them, the benefit is, I'm going to take care of your life because you're a moron, you're deplorable, you're a semi-fascist, you're a Nazi. And now, of course, garbage, has to be handled. And but they know you won't buy it. So they had to couch it as something that seemed good, but we all interpret it, at least I should say the Democrats, interpret that as being something that's going to set us free. But that's the lie. And this is why they hate Trump so much. Mm-hmm. The leadership hates Trump so much because he has already shown us what's possible when you trust the individual. And Elon Musk represents that as well. That's why they're against free speech. And that's why they want all your money, because you don't know what to do. It's a remarkable reveal of the reality on both sides.
It's an amazing moment in American history right now. And, of course, what happens next Tuesday will dramatically change the course of history. We're speaking with Tammy Bruce right now, Fox News contributor, AMAC columnist, and author of Fear Itself, which you absolutely should check out right now. But to look at Donald Trump with the coalition he's built going into this 2024 election, with the mood that existed in the 2020 election and the absolute shock that came from the 2016 election when he beat Hillary Clinton, to have this all culminate into this moment right now where he has a level of support that I don't know that he's publicly enjoyed before. What do you feel about Donald Trump's ability to do what he needs to do now, with his second term being 4 years later than initially intended?
I'm a big believer in things being as they should be. And it almost required the debacle of the last 4 years to highlight what's important about Trump and why he mattered to so many people. It wasn't perhaps clear to so many before, because now it's such a dramatic juxtaposition about delivery and policy and results. And then just the same as like the assassination attempt is what moved Elon, and not just the assassination attempt, Trump's reaction to it. So we see this manifestation of like, who is this person? And it's manifesting in the worst situation. And his instinct was to say, fight, fight, fight. His instinct was to get back up. That we simply do not see. It isn't maybe in the movies, but for Americans and for humanity, always looking, we need leadership, and obviously we need leadership. But the question historically has been, what kind of person can you rely on, and who are we as a species, right? Not just Americans, but every human being in Europe and throughout Asia, just the human race. Who are we, and what can we accomplish? And bad guys take advantage of the nature of humanity, but every living thing wants to be free. There is not one creature that prefers to be in a cage. And I think that is we're at a turning point for the country. But my goodness, for humanity itself, which is why throughout the world there's efforts to still censor, to arrest Elon Musk, to shut Elon Musk down. It comes down to really the role modeling of a person in all these different instances. And we're getting a few more of them coming up who are emboldened by and inspired by the success of people who said, no, enough is enough. And now it's the American people realizing that, like, no matter what they call us, that in fact, it's okay. We are moving forward. We can do this. We're not going to be victims of their rhetoric or of their gaslighting or of their fear. And that is, so many already, 50 million people have voted. I mean, the revolution is occurring now. And Tuesday is going to be the time when we learn, or the day after, because Georgia can't get its act together, what the results are. But I have been extremely confident throughout, and the rotten core of the Democrats is kneecapping them along the way. They do it to themselves, but we've got to stay focused. We got to get the Senate, and we've got to make sure that he can get his work done in the next 4 years.
Amen to that. Tammy Bruce, we're so grateful for your time. We love when you come on. People always give us the highest praise when you come on, and so we're grateful for it. And we're looking forward to a really exciting week and reconnecting with you after we get some hopefully positive results.
Yes, exactly. Thank you so much. Great job. Thanks, Annie.
Yes, you as well. Bye-bye. Tammy Bruce, Fox News contributor, AMAC columnist, her best-selling author. She is, her current book is Fear Itself, Exposing the Left's Mind-Killing Agenda. This is a must-read. You will enjoy it. She is incredibly witty and incredibly smart, and we're always grateful that she comes on the show with us. Let's take a quick break. Go join us on the Annie Fry YouTube live stream right now, and you can vote in today's YouTube live chat poll. Do Democrat elites really think that Trump supporters are garbage, like the President of the United States said last night? Yes or no? Let us know what you think. We'll be right back.
You're listening to The Annie Fry Show. Find the podcast, on-demand audio, and more at 971talk.com/Annie.
CassinsCan.com. You looking to buy a car? Are you looking for a vehicle to suit your family's needs? If you're like me, you're in a stage of life where the car that you buy, the vehicle that you drive has to suit a lot of other people. It's not just a fun thing to get from A to B in. Or are you at that time where you get to buy that car for you? If you are, I'm envious of it. Either way, Cassins has a great selection of vehicles on their lot right now. I drive past it almost every day. And when you shop at Cassins and you partner up with one of the many very, very well-versed longevity there with salespeople at Cassins is incredible. They sell cars to generations of people because they just stay there. They know that the Cassins quality is so top-notch. You can trust the vehicles you're buying. You can trust Cassins to treat you absolutely right the entire way through. That's why I am a multi-time customer driving 2 vehicles right now from Cassins. I give them my full endorsement because I trust them as a consumer of theirs. You can trust them as well. If you're looking for a Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram, Wagoneer, anything else, they've got used inventory as well. You can call them directly at 618-800-2712 and tell them Annie sent you. That's important. 618-800-2712. Start the conversation with them. They're located in Glen Carbon, a mile north off of 159, a mile north off of 270 on 159. And they're incredibly simple to get to. You can find them online at CassinsCan.com.
Republican Adam Schnelting is a husband, father, and a soldier. As an Army combat engineer, Schnelting is trained to fight for us. He's trained to solve problems. As state representative, Adam fought to keep men out of our daughters' bathrooms and sports. He voted to cut our taxes and fully fund our schools. He led the charge in Missouri to secure our border and address the fentanyl crisis. He even earned the endorsement of the Fraternal Order of Police. Vote Adam Schnelting for State Senate.
I'm Adam Schnelting, and I approve this message.
Paid for by Schnelting for Missouri, Mike Summer, Treasurer.
Gain peace of mind that your flooring and carpet installation will be done right the first time when you hire the experts at Michael's Flooring Outlet. They give all their clients attentive personal service, even bring toys for the kids of the household. It's a family-owned and operated business for 25-plus years. They make sure you make the right choice for your home. So if you have carpets or hard floors, you're going to be happy for years to come. 3 convenient locations in St. Charles County, 116 Main Street, in Old Town St. Peters at Mid-Rivers and Highway 70, in West County on Olive, and the store in Darden Prairie. Michael's Flooring Outlet, IGotFloor.com.
Trick or treat. Halloween is around the corner. Let's not use wishful thinking when it comes to safety. Beware and take care. Don't drink and drive. From your spooky friends at Odyssey and Under Law Injury Lawyers.
Are you worried about the state of the economy? Concerned about market crashes and rising inflation wiping out your savings? At Noble Gold Investments, we understand your fears and have a solution. Call us today at 1-888-403-1050. Imagine safeguarding you and your family with a tangible asset that has stood the test of time. Gold. With Noble Gold Investments, you can diversify your portfolio and protect your wealth from economic turmoil. Our team will guide you through the process, ensuring you make informed decisions that best suit your needs. Call Noble Gold Investments today at 1-888-403-1050. That's 1-888-403-1050. The future is uncertain. Take control now. Call 1-888-403-1050.
Past performance may not be indicative of future results. Investing in precious metals, including gold, involves risks. Consult with your tax attorney or financial professional before making an investment decision.
Hi, I'm Jim Brennan from McKelvey Homes. This month, we're giving $18,000
$8,980 off our homes in selected communities to celebrate 126 years of legendary quality and craftsmanship. In addition, our skilled craftsmen from the Mid-America Carpenters Union are offering McKelvey buyers up to $10,000 cash towards their new home for closing costs or lower interest rates. Combine these two incredible offers and save big on your McKelvey home. But hurry, this rare opportunity won't last long. Visit McKelveyhomes.com.
Today's Annie Fry YouTube live chat poll is based on the news cycle, of course. Do Democrat elites really think Trump supporters are garbage? There's a couple different options here. It's just a yes or no. But is it that old Uncle Joe was just kind of speaking off the cuff? Or is this actually representative of the mainstream Democrat Party? We want to know what you think about that question. Do Democrat elites really think Trump supporters are garbage? The time is 12:45. This time check is sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating and Air Conditioning.
It's time for a $98 furnace tune-up.
Democracy 2024.
We're bringing you the latest results, real-time analysis, and thoughtful commentary. It's Mark Reardon. Join me and our panel of experts on Tuesday night, November 5th for 97.1 FM Talk's Election Night coverage.
Democracy 2024. Election Night.
You know who doesn't get enough credit for having a really great solo career?
If you say yourself, I'm leaving the room.
George Harrison.
I love George Harrison music.
Mm-hmm.
I actually probably like George Harrison music more than anything done by any other Beatle ever.
His solo stuff. Or just in general.
I mean, I was born in 84.
Yeah.
I don't feel like I have an obligation to be like a defender of the Beatles as a qualifying band.
I don't know if I know any other songs by him besides that one.
George Harrison?
Yeah.
Doesn't he sing Got My Mind Set on You?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, I know that song.
That
That's
song.
a good song.
Yeah, I was having trouble coming up with the other singles that he did alone, but he was also in the Traveling Wilburys, and that was a great band. It was a super band. So the Traveling Wilburys, if you're unfamiliar, now I gotta tell you this
Let me hear
while we're talking here. The Traveling Wilburys were, I'm trying to remember, Roy Orbison, Tom Petty, George Harrison, Bob Dylan, and who am I forgetting? There's one more. Oh, Jeff Lynne from ELO.
I knew 3 of those people.
They had a band for like 2 years, and it was amazing. They had one CD that they put out that was unbelievable.
It's like Avengers cast.
Yeah, like it's like the best of all time got together and made one of the greatest CDs. And then Roy Orbison dies, and then the band stuck together and did basically an average Tom Petty album after that. So just to catch you up on why George Harrison is great, the second album not included.
It's
there.
literally the equivalent of Robert Downey Jr. leaving the MCU.
It's pretty much the exact
That's exactly
same.
what it is.
He's coming back.
He is coming back.
I don't know anything about anything. Well, I know a lot about that one. Is it the Infinity Saga? Is that what you call the whole thing?
Yes.
Yeah. Love it. Didn't watch anything after Endgame until my son maybe watched Love and Thunder, and I did, and I was like,
Oh,
nah.
did you not watch the new Spider-Man?
Yes, I did.
Okay.
I watched Spider-Man's, but I consider those to be different. Anyway, Dr. Doom.
Yes.
Robert Downey Jr. Is this brilliant, or is this the biggest money grab in movie history?
It could be
Or
a
we have to
money
wait and
grab,
see?
but here's what I would say is that the MCU fans have grown attached to Robert Downey Jr.
I certainly have.
Chris Evans, some of these people that they kind of didn't kick out, but naturally there has to be an ending to characters, but people were so attached to these characters that I think it's really hurt the MCU. So I think that this is them trying to find a way to incorporate the actors and hope that it's not specifically the characters, but instead the actors that people can get back on board with.
The big question is Robert Downey Jr. beloved as Iron Man, or is Robert Downey Jr. beloved? And will he be able? I think he will be able to do a great Victor Von Doom. I just don't know if people will look at Victor Von Doom or they'll see Tony Stark being Victor Von Doom.
What a great Wiggins America.
It's been great. I love this. Has nothing to do with the topic. And just to put a pin on it, like put a cap on the whole thing here, I would like to see Bob Dylan as the next Dr. Doom. Kind of meshing the both things together. Maybe even Jeff Lynne. I wouldn't mind seeing that. Either way.
You have a way with transitions.
Well, it's really bringing it back because we weren't really talking about George Harrison anymore, and I wanted to talk about George Harrison.
You did
Actually, what I really want to talk about is the topic of Wiggins America today, which we have way gotten off topic. This is 10 ways to calm your anxiety. Now, you can put election anxiety in there if you want to, but this is ways that you can quickly calm anxiety. Now, I want to put a little disclaimer on this. If you're living a life of pure anxiety, these things are temporary fixes. This isn't going to fix all your problems.
Scale is 0 to 10. Everybody in the room, where is your anxiety right now?
Generally or over the election?
Where is your anxiety right now?
In life. 5.
Ethan?
4.
Yeah, I would say I'm hovering right at a 4, and I'm usually like a 1.
I'm like an 8.
Are you?
Yeah. And I would say I traditionally live right at 5. I'm never comfortable, and I'm never freaking out. And I'm like...
And 5 is a bit of a peak for me. So... I'm living there because I just don't know.
You care more about anything than you ever have.
Right now?
Yes.
No, I'm not saying I never get to this point.
He's
I'm
not
just
saying he cares right now.
No, I'm just worried about what's going to happen.
So you don't care. Got it. Okay.
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm saying. There are 10 quick ways to calm anxiety. Just let me know if you've ever participated in any of these or if we would try them. Number 1 is hold yourself tightly. Keep in mind.
What are we talking about?
You probably don't want to do these out in public. Around your coworkers.
Don't ever do it around me. Knock it off, boys.
Hold yourself tightly. Wrap your arms around yourself and squeeze gently for 1 full minute.
No.
I'll let you know in a minute.
Isn't that just indicative of being alone?
I'm already down to a 3, guys.
Don't you want to get somebody... Shush. Don't you just want to get somebody else to hold you tightly?
Yeah, I think you do. Unless you're doing that thing where you're standing against a brick wall and you're hugging yourself real tightly and you're acting like you're making out with somebody and it looks like you are.
That was like the thing in 3rd grade.
Oh, man. That's so funny.
Or the 90s.
Yeah, it was good material, though, either way. Count backward. So slowly count backward from 100 or even 150. And counting allows you to focus on your breath and not on whatever is causing you anxiety.
I feel like that would stress me out more because I'd be like, well, what happens when I get to 1?
Yeah. The last thing I want to do is switch into manual breathing mode whenever I'm anxious.
Think about breathing.
How about massage your jaw area? I think there's something to this.
Right back here. If you open your mouth, if you put your fingers right under your earlobes and you open your mouth and you feel like where your jaw joint is, and then you find the back of the bottom jaw, and you start working your finger around there, you're going to realize you have so much tension in there. It's usually from gritting your teeth. But I have 2 fingers. You could probably go back on the YouTube live stream and see me doing this earlier today because I have about an 18-hour headache going right now.
Oh, man.
Well, you were at a 10. Now you're at an 8. Means it works.
I was at a 6, and now I'm at a 9.
Oh, no. Going the wrong direction.
It just went up when I got here and saw you, Ryan.
Try hugging yourself. It helped.
Try hugging myself.
It's weird.
I don't
Every time
hug myself. I don't even like my own hugs.
Yeah. When she
Someone
walked
in the
today,
chat suggested a group hug.
Go on. I'll let y'all know how it looks from here.
perform 3 sets of exercises. This one seems like it's going to take a little longer than the rest of them, so I don't know if you can pull this one off quickly, but it says to perform 3 sets of whatever you want to do, jumping jacks, running in place, things like that, because it'll take your mind and it'll get your hormones and your endocrine system working a little bit.
You sounds real confident in your medical advice there. I think what exercise does is it helps you sleep better.
Breathe slowly and deeply. I do believe in this one. This is one that if you're in the midst of busy stress, you can pause for a second and just sort of, and then you're slowing down. I do believe that works. How about splashing cold water on your face?
Yeah, maybe.
Can I try it on you?
Yeah, go ahead. I'd like to see you try it. Go on, do that.
That sounds like a dare.
Go for
It does. I mean, she said yes.
Go
you
for
heard
it.
it.
Yeah.
Listen, yeah.
So, okay.
Your funeral.
Look, it's going to be a lot of water.
Go on. Can I tell us a quick
It's
story
going to
about
be a
that
full
real quick?
bucket after washing my car.
My son, my husband has to wake my son up every morning to go to school, and he is like his mom, and he doesn't like to get up in the morning. And so I told him that if he doesn't get up the first time his dad asks him to get up, that I'm going to come wake him up. And my son has told me that I'm the scariest person he knows, like by far. I will have like the most fun ever with my children, but if you want to A, be disrespectful, or B, not do fourth commandment stuff where you do what your parents are told, then I'll turn into a monster. But that's a switch that you have to flip, not me.
Mm-hmm.
And so I told him, I said, the next time you don't get up, I'm coming in and I'm waking you up with water. And he's like, you will not do that. I was like, I will absolutely do that. So Jared goes in to wake him up. This is like a few months ago. I don't even know where we were going. It wasn't even for anything like school. But we had to get going. And he probably slept 40 minutes past when he was supposed to.
Oh, man.
And Jared tried to wake him up probably like 3 or 4 times. And he came, he's like, he won't get up. I was like, okay. So I went and got a cup of water.
Wait, is he up and just is like, no,
No,
go away?
no,
or is
he's
he like,
laying
you
in bed.
physically cannot wake him up?
You can't wake. I mean, he grunts and rolls over.
Okay, so he's alive.
Yeah, he
Okay.
just doesn't want to. Yeah, he's a 14-year-old boy. I mean, I think this is pretty stereotypical. I would imagine there's a lot of girls who do this too. And so his door was like kind of closed shut, and so Jared goes, "Mom," and I go, "Okay." And then we didn't hear him rustle or anything, and I had a cup of water, and this door was cracked, and I just opened the door, turned on the lights, and he sat up. He goes, "No!" And I just threw a cup of water on him.
Wow.
No. But I had to do it. I mean, it was like a. It
go,
was
Mom.
It was probably like 4 or 5 ounces of water. It was a small Tupperware cup, but it was cold, and I thought I needed to do this once, so that he knows that I mean business, and then he'll get up. Like my husband and I are always like, we are raising somebody's husband, and my husband always goes, probably. He's the sweetest kid ever. He is super helpful, but you got to tell him what to do. I mean, it's all 14-year-old boy stuff. Like, all good things, but we're trying to push that little personal responsibility. Like you said, you remember those days. You remember what it was like to try to drag yourself out of bed? When you're a teenage boy and you're growing so fast, all you want to do is sleep.
Well, also, I mean, you're constantly playing sports. You have homework, so
Which he does.
you're going to bed late.
He's taking all honors classes.
Yeah, I mean,
getting A's.
It's tiring time.
Yeah.
It's tiring time. Getting up is hard.
All Jared says is, "Mom," and
See?
Now he's like, "I'm up. I'm up."
It's
awesome.
It's the threat of consequence that is creating good behavior. We need to put you in charge of funding the police.
I would rather toss a small cup of water on him than wake him up in the morning by yelling at him and screaming at him and demeaning him in that way. It's like when the cat gets out of line, so you spritz it with a little water. That's what I see. I don't have cats.
Hey, stop that. Bad kitty.
I kind of want to get a cat just to do that now. I didn't know people did that.
I think that's abuse. You don't get a cat to spray it with water.
It sounds like a lot of fun, though. Well, somebody just let us know what
Hey,
happens
when we
that-
come
when you do
back,
that.
let's take phone calls on the YouTube live chat poll question. You think? Do Democrat elites really think Trump supporters are garbage? 314-241-9797, 314-241-9797. Give us a call. You might be first when we come back. Don't go away.
Why do the national tax resolution firms need the tiny fine print at the bottom of all their TV ads? Hi, this is Lance Story with the Lance Story Law Firm. You don't hear fast-talking disclaimers in our ads because the claims we make are 100% transparent. The Lance Story Law Firm primarily focuses on one thing, IRS problems, and we're regulated by the Bar Association, and we have a AAA rating with the Better Business Bureau. IRS issues are serious legal issues. The Lance Story Law Firm has helped thousands of clients navigate the best resolution plans, and we tell you up front exactly how much it'll cost. Tax resolution law is all we do. So before you send money to some out-of-town, high-pressure salesperson, give us a call at the Land Story Law Firm, located right here in St. Louis. Call today to schedule your free consultation with me, 314-260-6120, or visit LanceDruryLaw.com.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
Stewart's American Mortgage and the Bagel Loan, just a phone call or a text message away to lowering that biggest monthly payment you're likely making. Here's the phone number that you can call or you can text 314-324-4440. 314-324-4440. Reach out to Stewie and find out exactly what you need to know to get the Bagel Loan acquired for you through a mortgage or a mortgage refinance. Make sure that you know what you need to do to secure this lower mortgage payment today. 314-324-4440. Google the Bagel Loan for more information. You can ask him about getting a lower rate. Maybe it's a refinance. Maybe you got your mortgage in the last year or so and you need to refinance and secure the rates as they've gone down a little bit. Maybe you're going to get a mortgage for the very first time and you want to make sure that you secure the very best deal. With the Bagel Loan, you have zero closing costs. That's why you go there. 314-324-4440. Google the Bagel Loan, NMLS number 226715.
KFTK FM Florissant. From the Under Law Injury Lawyers, GetJim.com studio.
That's GetJim.com.
97.1 FM Talk. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
Only 6 days left. I'm Lisa Brady, Fox News.
And we need you to vote early, North Carolina.
Vice President Kamala Harris rallying in Raleigh.
And we know we have an opportunity in this election to turn the page on a decade of Donald Trump, who has been trying to keep us divided and afraid of each other.
Calling former President Trump unstable, obsessed with revenge, and out for unchecked power, but earlier telling reporters she disagrees with criticizing anyone over who they vote for. After President Biden appeared to refer to Trump supporters as garbage, the president has said he was referring to hateful rhetoric by a comedian at a Trump rally.
My response to Joe and Kamala is very simple. You can't lead America if you don't love Americans. You just can't.
Trump is at a rally in Rocky Mount, North Carolina, urging Americans to turn the page on what he calls a failed administration.
They've treated you like garbage, frankly. They've treated you like garbage. You know what? The truth is they've treated our whole country like garbage, whether they meant to or not, because they're grossly incompetent people, and they've destroyed our country.
He and Harris also have rallies later in Wisconsin, and she has another in Pennsylvania, where the Trump campaign is now suing Bucks County, accusing officials of voter suppression over claims some were turned away.
Video from the RNC shows a sign being placed cutting off the line well before the election office was set to close at 5 p.m. Now, yesterday was the final day for on-demand mail-in voting. It's a unique and cumbersome process where voters can apply for a mail-in ballot, fill it out, then turn it in on the spot. Now, county election officials say that they had to cut that off because it can take 10 to 15 minutes a person, and that the 5 p.m. deadline was actually just for those applying for a mail-in ballot to mail in or submit later.
Fox's Alexandria Hoff, state officials today reaffirming the 5 p.m. deadline to be in line. America is listening to Fox News.
Moments like making my kids my famous meatballs mean a lot to me. But after being diagnosed with metastatic breast cancer, or MBC, which is breast cancer that has spread to other parts of the body, they mean even more. I take Ibrance, palbociclib.
Ibrance 125 milligram tablets with an aromatase inhibitor is for adults with HR-positive, HER2-negative MBC as the first hormonal-based therapy. Ask your doctor about Ibrance and visit Ibrance.com. Ibrance may cause low white blood cell counts that may lead to serious infections. Ibrance may cause severe inflammation of the lungs. Both of these can lead to death. Tell your doctor right away if you have new or worsening symptoms, including trouble breathing, shortness of breath, cough, or chest pain. Before taking Ibrance, tell your doctor if you have fever, chills, or other signs of infection, liver or kidney problems, are or plan to become pregnant, or are breastfeeding. Common side effects include low red blood cell and low platelet counts, infections, tiredness, nausea, sore mouth, abnormalities in liver blood tests, diarrhea, hair thinning or loss, vomiting, rash, and loss of appetite.
Air Comfort Service, heating, cooling, and insulation. Weather.
Windy and warm with plenty of sunshine on this Wednesday afternoon. 84 for the high tonight. A couple of thunder showers developing primarily after midnight. 64. Halloween Thursday, morning showers. Temperatures in the 60s but falling into the 50s Thursday afternoon under partly sunny skies. Trick-or-treat time, 49-50. Clear skies going down to 42 Thursday night. This is 97.1 FM Talk. Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
Hey guys, Glover here with my very, very good friend, Dr. Kathy Maupin at BioBalanceHealth.com. If you have reached that certain age and you're just not feeling very well and nothing's working the way it used to work, go see Dr. Kathy. She is not only a medical doctor, she is a patient of this bioidentical hormone replacement therapy. It absolutely works. It's a long-term solution. She is an artist when it comes to helping you with your hormones. BioBalanceHealth.com for Dr. Kathy Maupin.
CiviaLaw.com, SIVIA, CiviaLaw.com. Are you looking to get your affairs in order? That's how you commonly hear people talk about getting a trust established or the powers of attorney or your will. Here's a lot of you folks. You did this, but you did it years and years ago. And a lot has changed since the last time that you did it. You can take everything that you have already constructed to Civia Law and get it completely up to date. When I sat down with Todd Civia and we were talking about our particular situation, he asked questions of things that I hadn't thought about, and I usually think about a lot of different things. He was very thorough. He was very kind and very patient as we discussed what we wanted to do, and he made sure that every T was crossed and every I had the dot so that we could be confident that what we wanted to have happen was what ends up happening. Plan for your future. Plan for the care of your loved ones. If you have dependents right now, you must reach out to Civia Law to have this conversation today. They have 5 locations. They are in both Missouri and Illinois, and they are a phone call away at 833-995-WILL, 833-995-WILL. You can find them online at CiviaLaw.com.
Kamala Harris and Joe Biden are ignoring kitchen table issues. Liberals are fighting to defund the police, indoctrinate kids, open the border, and put boys in girls' sports. I'm Ann Wagner. The people I talk to know better. Let's work for what matters most. Lower costs, parents' rights, and safer streets.
Ann Wagner is working for common sense solutions to the problems you face. She's challenged the big government machine in Washington and delivered a tax cut for middle-class families. Ann has stood with parents to defend their right to make decisions on the upbringing, education, and care of their children, protecting our kids from radical leftist indoctrination. And as crime rises, Ann has worked to protect our safety by fighting efforts to defund our brave police.
I'm Ann Wagner, and I approve this message. So pull up a chair, and together we'll turn the tables on Washington.
Fighting for your family. Ann Wagner for Congress. Paid for by Ann Wagner for Congress.
Tony LaRussa here. Men, are you running out of stamina rounding third base? If so, call my friends at Victory Men's Health in O'Fallon, Illinois. Scoring at home is important, just as important as crossing the plate with the winning run. VictoryMen'sHealth.com.
Mark Cox here. I have put together my 2024 general election voter's guide with you in mind. The direction of our nation and our state is in your hands now. Visit 971talk.com to see the Mark Cox 2024 voter guide.
That is exactly what I needed to hear.
Thank God someone here knows what they're talking about.
That's us. That's right. Gotta love this American ride.
All right, you need to take the time and get the full picture.
Don't get me wrong. I love the ladies. I mean, they rev my engine, but they don't belong in the newsroom. It is Anchor Man, not Anchor Lady.
What do you want from me? I'm not America's sweetheart.
Goodness sake, kid. Keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Fry Show.
Of deplorables moment. That's what Hillary Clinton said in 2016 that tanked her campaign. Well, that's the Joe Biden, Kamala Harris moment right now. I am a little bit more cynical about this one in the following way. It might look like Joe Biden's usual cognitive deficits kicked in, but the reality is we know his family is secretly probably rooting for Donald Trump, not Kamala Harris, to win because they feel really vengeful about how they were treated. So if you're in their shoes, you know that kind of comment is actually going to tank Kamala Harris. So we're going to put those kinds of motivations to one side. But regardless, it is a welcome October surprise because let's take a big step back. What's going on here? The wheels are coming off the car. They're spiraling. And now you see the accusations of the other side being Hitler or piles of garbage. You're going to hear a lot about threats to democracy in the next week. They are flailing, Sean. They understand Americans are not falling for their trick anymore.
Vivek Ramaswamy always sounds like he has 3 more words than he has breath.
Well, he's going to get them in, though.
He is. He's
That's why he's fun to listen to.
He has a way of speaking. Welcome back to the Annie Fry Show. The YouTube live chat poll for today is in response to what Joe Biden said last night on, I think it was like a fundraiser call or something like that, or like maybe a Zoom call with voters or something like that, a panel. I don't know.
It was a Zoom call for sure.
But he was talking about the comments. The comments that the Democrats have made so much hay on, or worked to try to make so much hay on. I don't think it's really resonating with people, about the comedian who spoke at the Trump campaign rally at Madison Square Garden, who referred to Puerto Rico as a country as a floating island of trash. That's the summation, correct?
Mm-hmm.
That was a big deal to Democrats. That's what they've been discussing. They've been working hard on making sure that the Puerto Ricans, voting Puerto Ricans in this country, are very offended. And now, because that comedian made that joke at a Madison Square Garden, those people who have worked to flee communism and mass poverty, that they have found value in Donald Trump and his policy, but now are like, ouch, man, I'm voting for Kamala. Like that's been the last 4 days. What is today? Wednesday. That's what they've tried to do. Joe Biden continued on with this thought process, trying to do everything that the Democrats can do to push this knowledge of the association between a comedian who made these remarks. The Trump campaign disavowed them. Other Republicans disavowed them. I question having a roast comedian at a campaign, but alas, there he was, whatever. This is what Joe Biden said about Trump supporters last night while Kamala was giving a big speech.
Where I'm in my home state of Delaware, they're good, decent, honorable people. The only garbage I see floating out there is his supporters.
The only garbage I see out there is his supporters. Apostrophe. I mean, even the possessive understanding of supporters, like, oh, it was the supporters' garbage. Do you see it floating around? Well, maybe you should clean up the streets. You're the guy. You should make it happen. I want to take your phone calls on this. We've got a few lines open. 314-241-9797. The poll for today is, do Democrat elites really think Trump supporters are garbage? Yes or no? Does Joe Biden really think of you if you are a Trump supporter? Does he really think you're garbage? Do the people who are in the elite apparatus of the Democrat Party, and there's an elite or apparatus of the Republican Party too, do the elite Democrats really look at you and think you're trash? Yes or no? You can vote on the Annie Fry YouTube channel, and you can also call in right now and tell us what you think. 314-241-9797. 314-241-9797. Get in line, and we'll try to get through as many of these as we can. So make your point, and we'll keep moving along. John, thanks for calling the Annie Fry Show. Do you believe that Democrat elites really think Trump supporters are garbage? Yes or no?
No, but I got to explain it because Biden did not even say what most people are saying he said.
Well, we just played what he said in his own words.
He did. No, but listen. He was talking about the comedian, one person.
No, he wasn't.
Let me finish, man. Gosh. Please let me finish. Because at the end of it, he cut it off. He said his comments. Why was it? He goes, the Trump supporters, he talks about
Puerto Rico, where I'm in my home state of Delaware. They're good, decent, honorable people. The only garbage I see floating out there is his supporters.
The only garbage I see out there is his supporters.
Bam, play the rest.
His demonization of seen as unconscionable, and it's un-American.
That's the rest of the clip.
No,
bro.
You skipped it again.
That's straight from the video.
I got it right here. Fucking bitch, I got it.
You're going to dump that. You're going to
dump that.
Man, see, listen, fair point. I think he said the answer is no. Did you dump that?
Yeah.
Okay. If you didn't get it, we apologize for his language. And Ethan, John's not allowed to call anymore. You can't do that on the air. FCC says so. I can handle it. The FCC can't. That's government for you. Anyway, when you listen to somebody like that, and this is a guy who's called in multiple times to the show, and he makes the same point every time. And he makes a point that supports the left, that denigrates the right, and in doing so, when I play for him exactly the clip, we have the clip right here. It's straight from the video from where Joe Biden said it. I'm giving you the opportunity to say, Joe Biden misspoke. Joe Biden doesn't really mean that. I am capable of having a conversation with you. But if you want to call me an F and B on this show because you're that upset about this, then the answer to the question is actually yes. If you're that deranged by Donald Trump, if the thought of Donald Trump actually makes you that angry at a radio show that for whatever reason you cannot turn off, then that's what you think. And I'm here to tell you, like, I don't reciprocate that feeling for anybody over politics, ever. There's nobody in my life that disagrees with me politically so much that I would feel that way about them. This is an unhealthy place to be in society right now, and conversation has to be able to be had, and I can have that conversation. I welcome people to come on this show who can have this conversation, but it's got to be in a way that is respectful. And honestly, like, this level of derangement doesn't exist the other way around, does it? Am I missing it?
I hope not. I mean, that was unfortunate. I know we had to cut a portion of that because of the language, so people might not know what we're talking about, but that caller just lost his mind in debating you. And there are a lot of points that I want to make politically, but
he doesn't represent the majority of Democrat voters.
It makes me sad to hear that it was like pushback, snap.
Yeah.
And that's unfortunate.
Let's get to Mike here. Mike, thanks for calling the Annie Fry Show. Do you think that Democrat elites really think Trump supporters are garbage? Yes or no? Mike, are you there?
Hello, are you talking?
Yes.
Am I on right now?
Yes, you are. What do you think? Do you think that Trump supporters, do you think Democrat elites really think Trump supporters are garbage?
I would say, unfortunately, yes. But I'm a traditional Christian. I believe in fallen nature. I believe in heart of stone or heart of flesh. And I would have to say that because we have relatives who are well educated, physicians, lawyers, etc., who might be able to have similar thoughts as that last caller you had, with a better vocabulary,
yeah.
but a similar sense of unredeemable depravity on our side.
Mike, let me ask you this question. As somebody who identifies themselves calling into a radio show as a Christian, being politically on the other side of that type of mentality, what is your thought, recommendation, or how do you handle knowing that that's the way other people out there are thinking about you, even though, just because you think differently politically, that doesn't constitute anybody being trash. All human life has value. How do you handle that situation with that knowledge?
Oh my goodness, it's it's difficult and requires lots and lots of prayer. I have very good friends who are civil and conversant on the other side, who I can have decent conversations with. But there's equally as well-educated folks who baffle my friends who are traditional people or conservative, Christian/conservative. And they know other folks who they see as good folks, and it just completely baffles them that they can't see what seems obvious. What you talk about transgenderism, or a bunch of middle-aged men dressed up as women reading stories to little kids. That just seems so bizarre and so evil on its face that it doesn't seem difficult to figure out, yet really bright people struggle with that. And I would tell my friends who are Christians/conservative, I go, that's spiritual warfare right there. I mean, there's no other way to get a handle on that sort of level of deception.
Mike,
So I have to distance myself and pray a lot.
Yeah, well, there's never anything wrong with that. Mike, thank you for the phone call. I appreciate it. I was thinking about this on the way in to work today, about how dramatically different we see the world from our counterparts. And biblically, I was thinking about the Tower of Babel and how people were all in the same place trying to do the same thing, and God made it so nobody could understand each other. And I find that to be, I don't know why I was thinking about that this morning, but I just thought, like, it's almost like we're all speaking different languages because everybody sees the same thing, but our inability to communicate with one another, maybe because we don't have our eyes focused squarely on the right priorities, our inability to communicate with one another makes the whole thing dysfunctional. And you almost have to turn everything upside down to get to a place where you can prioritize the number one thing from a Christian biblical sense, where you finally get the understanding, the ability to see things the same because you're seeing them through something that is more important than the rest. Let's get to Melinda's phone call here. Melinda, thank you for calling the Annie Fry Show. Do you believe that Democrat elites really do think, like Joe Biden said, that Trump supporters are garbage?
I want to believe no, that he does not. I feel that he said that because half the time I feel like he doesn't know what he's saying. I am a Trump supporter. I did vote Trump. But I want to believe that he did not mean that. I think it was kind of taken out of anger. But I do believe that they hold a hatred maybe toward people that don't fit into their narrative or agree with them.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like I communicate with a lot of people out of here, and if there's Biden supporters or Harris supporters, they actually start name calling, and it turns into an argument. You can't sit down and have a normal conversation. So I want to say no. I don't believe he meant that we are garbage.
Okay, I think that's a valuable perspective, Melinda, and I appreciate you sharing it with us here today. Because I really do believe that Joe Biden is the type of person that has always kind of just said things. He's always said things that are, here's the box that we're supposed to stay in as squeaky clean politicians, and he's always got at least 1 foot out of the box. Now he's older. I think he's less polished. I think that he's probably so micromanaged on any given day that any independent person would get a little agitated by that over the course of time. And I can only imagine that he is very, very unhappy that he was replaced for somebody else who's going to lose, potentially. So when he says that, I think he might feel it at that moment because he's mad at everything. The question that we're asking today is, do those words actually speak for the lot of the people who are in the up and up of the Democratic Party? We got to take a quick break here. We've got a whole bunch of people on the line, but we have Andy McCarthy with us when we come back. If you're still holding on the line at 1:40, we will take more phone calls. If everybody drops off, we probably won't go back to the phone. So if you want to hang on, you can. If you want to get in line, 314-241-9797. But Andy McCarthy is coming on with us. We're excited to have his legal expertise to come on to talk about the Supreme Court rulings that took place today. The voter rolls are still being addressed by the Supreme Court today. What happened? What does it mean for the outcome of this election and the safety and security of our elections? Andy McCarthy on the Annie Fry Show next.
This is the Annie Fry Show. Find the podcast, on-demand audio, and more at 971talk.com/Annie.
AirComfortService.com. That's the website to visit. And the cool thing about Air Comfort Service, no pun intended, is that they're always looking for extra ways to make sure that you can get into your comfort zone in the most affordable way. AirComfortService.com is the website, but you can call them right now at 314-513-0091. Listen to this opportunity. Through November 23rd, Carrier Cool Cash rebates are back at Air Comfort Service. You can save up to $2,100 in Carrier Cool Cash on qualifying HVAC equipment. Plus, you can qualify for 0% financing for up to 72 months, utility rebates, and tax credits. Contact Air Comfort Service for your free estimate at 314-513-0091. 314-513-0091. Reach out to Air Comfort Service. I'm a customer myself multiple times over of Air Comfort Service. They do the best job. They're kind people. You can check out their reviews online. You can go to aircomfortservice.com.
Hi, I'm Bob Kershaw with Retirement Advisory Group. Are you worried about market volatility in this election year? Are you concerned your money won't last you through retirement?
Hi, I'm Tammy Kershaw, and as a family-owned business, we are committed to protecting your retirement, whether you're nearing retirement or already retired. We have a lot of folks that aren't aware of all the new investment choices that are available, which give you growth and protection from losses at the same time. Are you aware of all the fees that you are currently paying? We can show you how to avoid those fees. So come in now for your free retirement review and get a second opinion on your retirement plan. And just for coming in, you'll get a copy of our latest edition book, Your Key to a Worry-Free Retirement. Let us show you how to retire with confidence.
We are proud to say we haven't lost a penny of our clients' money in 38 years, and we won't lose a penny of yours either. Let our family help your family. Call us now at 314-993-9494 or go online to retirementkey.com. That's retirementkey.com.
Hey, it's Bo Matthews for Beast Plumbing, and when it comes to the quality of your water, it is so important, not just for the taste, but for when you wash your clothes or even your hair or your skin, and bad water can affect all of your appliances. Call them today at 314-500-LEAK. That's Beast Plumbing.
Choosing the right candidates for any office can be difficult.
My office has lots of drama.
My office has its ups and downs.
I share my office. But no matter what kind of office you have, one thing's for certain. If you're hiring, you need ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter's powerful matching technology finds the most qualified candidates for your roles fast, and you can invite your top choices to apply. In fact, 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. So, for any kind of office,
I'm really going places in my office.
My office has everything you could ever want.
count on ZipRecruiter to find the right candidates for it. Try ZipRecruiter for free today at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. That's ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter.com/radio.
Supporting your nutrition should be easy. That's why we created the Neovitamin Women's Multivitamin monthly subscription. Get your daily Neovitamin Women's Multivitamin delivered directly to your door every month. You can pause or cancel your subscription at any time with no long-term obligations. With B vitamins to support energy, vitamin D for bone support, and our physician-formulated proprietary blend, Neovitamin Women's Multivitamin is here to support your nutrition every day. Start supporting your nutrition and sign up for a monthly Neovitamin Women's Multivitamin subscription today at neovitamin.com.
Attention Missouri Medicaid members. If you need assistance with daily living, you can receive a free service from Freedom Care in your own home from a loved one. With Freedom Care, you decide who provides your daily care with help preparing meals, bathing, laundry, transportation, and more. A family member or friend that gets paid instantly after every shift. It's all funded by Medicaid and 100% free to you. Call now to check your eligibility. New to Medicaid, the Freedom Care family will guide you through enrollment, making it stress-free for patients and caregivers. With over 5,000 five-star Google reviews, we've perfected at-home care for Medicaid members and caregivers. This service is free to you through Medicaid, and with our InstaPay app, caregivers are paid instantly. So go to freedomcare.com or call 314-557-7915. 314-557-7915. 314-557-7915.
You're listening to the Annie Fry Show live from the Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Insulation Studio. Air Comfort Service is hiring licensed journeymen. Don't have a journeyman license? Air Comfort Service will help you get it. Get guaranteed hours year-round and more. Apply online at aircomfortservice.com.
St. Louis's home for conservative talk.
The Mark Reardon Show.
Wednesday afternoon, it's going to be a big show, mainly because Uncle Ted will join us. The legendary Ted Nugent joins at 5:07. Brian Kilmeade at 3:25.
Weekdays from 3 to 6 on 97.1 FM Talk.
I'm talking about later on a Saturday night. The band plays a song you like and you sing along. Raise 'em up. I'm talking about daddy's old pickup truck, shotgun seat, there's the one you love and you're kissing on. Get those white sails sailing down in Mexico. It's just a whiskey glass if you ain't making a toast. Lift your tear-filled eyes up to the sky. Coming home, you've been gone too long. Tonight we're gonna raise them up.
Welcome back to the Andy Fry Show. We are working on connecting with Andy McCarthy. So if we get a hold of him, then I'm going to cut this short. But we were having a conversation about the YouTube live chat poll for today. Do Democrat elites really think Trump supporters are garbage? Yes or no? We've got the clip here for you, and you can listen to it. I've played it multiple times. I'm going to play it again for you because this was last night. This is what Joe Biden said on a call with, I think, voters, maybe a fundraiser or something. Joe
Puerto
Biden.
Rico, where I'm in my home state of Delaware, they're good, decent, honorable people. The only garbage I see floating out there is his supporters. His demonization is seen as unconscionable, and it's un-American.
That's the clip that they played on CNN. Anderson Cooper had that clip on there. That's what they played. That's what he said. So the question today is really like an honest, open question. And I was curious how the poll would shake out because I think there are a lot of people who think that Democrats just detest Republicans no matter what. You're Republican, then you're absolutely, what's the word that we've heard before? Irredeemable. I feel like there is value from the upper echelon of the Democrat Party to make that seem like the case, because the more we're divided, and Republicans certainly are, and the upper echelons of the Republican Party can make it seem like we need to be divided so that you can't talk to the person who's across the aisle from you. I mean, that's the most American thing you can do. And so the question to you is, and we'll wait and see what the Andy Fry Show audience has to say about it, do Democrat elites really actually think that Trump supporters are garbage, yes or no? So while we work to connect with Andy McCarthy, I want to get Michael's phone call on here because Michael has been waiting and we want to get him here. Michael, what do you think about today's poll question? You think that that's what Democrat elites really do think about Trump supporters?
No, absolutely not. I know that upper Democrats are actually enthusiastic about being bipartisan and working across the aisle.
What issues do you think, Michael, are like the most, like in a bipartisan fashion? Because I assume that you're the traditional Michael that we have call in, and I always love taking your phone call. You are left of center. What are the issues that we have that can be bipartisan? Where do you think we can come together?
Well, we've already come together, actually, with the border bill. That was bipartisan.
But Michael, I have to stop you there because that's not it. There's many Republicans are talking about why that wasn't a good bill. Just because a Republican wasn't, that's like saying Liz Cheney got with the select committee and it was bipartisan. The party as a whole on each side doesn't agree with that.
I didn't say good or bad. It just said bipartisan. I just said bipartisan. But there's actually we get more done when we do work together.
I agree.
But the issue is that there's been an environment that Republicans have to be loyal. You know, we've had the era of Trump where it was okay for anyone who wasn't loyal to him to be ostracized, you know, regardless of their record, regardless of their integrity. So you have to understand why we're in this environment that we're in now, where you have Jeff Sessions, who made the decision based on integrity, I'm going to recuse myself. And then it says, well, you're not being loyal. And then it's backed up by the commentators and says, well, hey, he has.
But I mean, like, Michael, what you're talking about is like the whole Russia collusion thing that was going on, which was an entire hoax that was put up against Donald Trump, and not liking Jeff Sessions because he recused himself from something that turned out to be a hoax. That you can't cite Jeff Sessions and be like Donald Trump.
What about John Kelly?
I do have to go.
What about John Kelly?
Michael, Michael.
I just want to say this. I just want to get this in.
Okay.
Right. You know, we're talking about the Puerto Ricans and their situation, and like I said before when I called in, don't be surprised if those 500,000 Puerto Ricans don't vote for Trump. And there wasn't the only group of people that was insulted. The comment about
Michael, I gotta go.
watermelon.
I gotta go. I appreciate what you're saying. I understand that there's a lot of consternation right now over what the Republicans have said at the Madison Square Garden rally about Puerto Ricans, and now we're seeing Joe Biden's reaction to that comment, and he's now calling Trump supporters garbage. I think both takes are bad takes. And I think that both things can be true at the same time. We're going to shift gears here, and because we've got really important news that came out today, and speak with our friend Andy McCarthy is back on the show with us, contributing editor at National Review. He is the host of the McCarthy Report, and a Fox News contributor. Andy, welcome back to the show. A real great honor to have you here with us today.
Hey, great to be with you.
So I saw the news earlier this morning that the Virginia Supreme Court temporarily halts the lower court's ruling. It has to do with the Virginia voter rules. What can you tell? I mean, having the Supreme Court rule on something less than a week from the election is pretty wild in my mind. What do you think about this ruling today? What does it mean?
Well, on the point of the timing, this has come up a lot because I've made the point to people that courts don't like to get involved in elections, and I think there's no question about that because they want the elections to be decided at the ballot box. They don't want to be perceived as being the deciding vote. But what they really don't like is being asked to intervene after the election is over, because then it looks like they could be shifting like which candidate won. Whereas if you get them beforehand and the issue is really only about the rules, like who's allowed to vote and what's the conditions under which they're allowed to vote. I'm not saying they love getting involved in those things, but there's a lot of things courts are in the problem business. So there's a lot of stuff they get dragged into that they prefer not. But it's a lot easier to get them to decide something that simply is about what are the rules of the game rather than post facto where it's like who won the game and they don't want to be in that position. So I wasn't that surprised to see them intervene. The other reason I wasn't surprised to see them intervene is that the district court and the Fourth Circuit intervened in the last week. So it's not like the court, the Supreme Court was sticking its nose in where no other court had gone before. And this really is a very strange litigation, and in the sense that I don't really see any rationale for what the Justice Department was doing except try to make it easier for people who are not allowed to vote. Because what Governor Youngkin was trying to do, pursuant to a law that was passed and signed into law by Tim Kaine when he was the Democratic governor of Virginia, and then the Democratic governors of Virginia who followed Kaine enforced this law. The Justice Department in 2006 told Virginia what it was doing was fine. And the idea is you use databases of other agencies to match up to the voter rolls to see who is a non-American based on what these people themselves have told government agencies. And then one by one, this was the big issue in the case was the Justice Department said, this is a systematic purge, and under federal law, you're not allowed to do that within 90 days of the election, which they call the quiet period or the quiet window. But this wasn't systematic. The fact that you use systems to match up the names didn't mean that they just lopped people off the voter rolls. They went one by one through the names that got kicked out, and they take them off the rolls on a one-by-one basis. But the thing that people need to understand, which was, I think, misrepresented by the people who were arguing in favor of the Justice Department, this idea that what it meant was that it was possible by bureaucratic error that American citizens could be taken off the rolls and wouldn't be allowed to vote. It's the law of Virginia that you can register on the day of voting. And if you're willing to attest that you're an American citizen, they have to let you vote. So there's no way that an authentic American citizen was going to be bounced off the rolls or not permitted to vote. And in the meantime, Virginia's law actually bolsters federal law, because under federal law, it's a crime for someone to attest that he's an American citizen in order to register to vote, and it's a crime for an alien to vote. So, it was just a kind of a crazy case.
Yeah, the fail-safe of the ability to cast that provisional ballot on Election Day ensures that everybody does get the chance to vote. But instead of kicking the door wide open and saying, well, they could be, it's possible that some of these individuals are citizens, so let them all vote. From 2020 till 2024, what do you feel about the efforts being made in various states to ensure that every American is entitled to one vote in an election? How do you feel about the changes that have been made?
Well, I'm philosophically coming at it from the other direction, and that is that it's commonly said, and it's said so commonly that there's a lot of misunderstanding about this, that voting is a fundamental right. Okay, it's not a fundamental right. In fact, as the Constitution was adopted, the only thing that you were allowed to vote for was the member of Congress in your district. Beyond that, representatives in Congress, or state legislatures rather, voted for the Senate, and electors voted for the president. The framers were very skeptical about direct democracy because the history of it is that it eats up liberty and minority rights. So they wanted us to have a democratic republic, not a pure democracy. So that's the fundamentals of it. And then the other thing is there is a preference in the law of most states, and I think it's a sensible preference, that what we want is for you to come to the polls and vote in person, because that's the safest way to vote. Now, if that's your statutory presumption of your state, then it's perfectly fair for them to say, even though we would rather you came to the polls and voted, we're going to let you vote remotely. We're going to let you vote by mail. We're going to let you vote on days other than Election Day when everyone else is expected to come to vote. But if you're going to do that, you have to follow all of the rules for doing that, because we'd really rather you came to the polls. So I don't think it's incumbent on the government to bend over backwards to correct the mistakes that are made for citizens when we'd rather have them come to the polls anyway. I think it's incumbent on the citizen to follow the rules and vote correctly. And it's not like we're talking about nuclear physics here, It's not really hard to vote. It's really not difficult.
No, it's not. And we of course talk about voter ID quite a bit and how it's not fun to go get your ID at the DMV, but it certainly is doable. And we are required to use identification for many, many things that we do in America. Voting seems like an obvious one, but alas, we don't have that requirement everywhere. Andy McCarthy, before we let you go, I love when people, especially of your expertise level, talk about democratic republics versus democracies and what the framers had in mind when they created our system of government. We hear the phrase threat to democracy in a really sensationalized way. We've heard it for a long time. Do you feel as though the election system as it is set up right now, is our democracy being threatened in the way that we're trying to change, that some people are trying to change how we vote?
No, I feel exactly the opposite. I'm always taken aback by people like, for example, the House January 6th committee, and the people who have the narrative that they have about Trump. And I obviously don't have any brief for the Capitol riot and the whole Stop the Steal thing. I thought it was a disgrace. But I thought the hero of the day was our democracy. And our democracy is so much stronger than the people who are always telling us that somebody is that our democracy is hanging by a thread and someone's a threat to our democracy. I mean, just take a look at what happened on January 6th. There was never any chance that Joe Biden's victory was not going to be ratified by Congress. The riot was a terrible thing. It was also a riot. It wasn't an insurrection. It lasted 3.5 hours. And if you compare it, for example, to the lethal rioting that went on after George Floyd's death, it doesn't hold a candle to that. There was such minimal damage to the Capitol that Congress was able to reconvene that night to ratify the election. They used to say, but Trump may not leave. What if he doesn't agree to leave? the Constitution, our democracy that people like to talk about, we don't leave it up to the president to deign to leave office. His term ended at noon on January 20th. He was no longer president at that point. He wasn't. If he didn't leave office, he would have been escorted out of office.
Yep.
That's not the way. Our system is an ingenious system, and I think it's far, far stronger than all these people who hysterically run around saying our democracy is hanging by a thread. It's absolutely not.
It's actually a pretty beautiful thing when you put it that way, Andy McCarthy, to think about something that was formulated centuries ago, but still with a very young country, has been that the anticipation of what could possibly happen, we seem so far, at least, to have been insulated because we had some very wise people at the very genesis of this country.
Yeah, look at how many bird brains we know, and they can't break it up. They try.
And they come in every stripe and every color. Andy McCarthy, thank you for your time today. We appreciate your update on this Supreme Court ruling. Look forward to more rulings or more information on voter rolls as they continue to come out.
My pleasure. Thanks so much.
Thank you. Bye-bye. Andy McCarthy, a contributing editor at National Review, Fox News contributor, former Chief Assistant U.S. Attorney Andrew C. McCarthy on X. Go check him out. Tell him thanks for coming on the show. We love to be able to connect with him. Quick break. When we come back, we'll get some of your thoughts on the Andy Fry YouTube channel to the YouTube live chat poll. Do Democrat elites really think Trump supporters are garbage, as Joe Biden referred to them last night in some Zoom call? Russell says on the Andy Fry YouTube channel, I cannot speak for other Democrat elites as if they think Trump supporters are garbage, but I can say for sure the current president does. It's an interesting perspective. Let us know what you think. Andy Fry YouTube channel. We'll be right back.
As the flag flies, say goodbye tonight.
You're listening to The Andy Fry Show. Find the podcast, on-demand audio, and more at 971talk.com/Annie.
Take her by the hand, make a stand, buy some land, make some love, and them babies come. Raise them up.
RulerFoods.com. If you are looking to save on your Halloween haul, if you're looking to stock up on some cold weather food in your house that you don't have to go out in the cold, in the slush, or whatever is coming our way, you want to make sure that you stock up at Ruler Foods because you save money. I don't even know what else there is to say. You're going to save money. That's the bottom line for me. Quality products, name brands that you love. They also carry Kroger brands at Ruler Foods prices. I have so much Kroger stuff in my pantry right now. Ruler Foods, make sure that you get to save on all of the reasons, the everyday grocery shopping or the specials you might have to save on, like Thanksgiving meal. It's coming up. They are offering right now a Thanksgiving meal for under $6 per person that feeds 8 people. I'm going to list off real quick the things that you get with this Thanksgiving meal. Turkey, rolls, green beans, French fried onions, cream of soups, sweet potatoes, mac and cheese, stuffing, turkey gravy, Idaho potatoes, cranberry sauce, egg noodles, chicken broth, pumpkin pie, and whipped topping. Are you hungry yet? Go to Ruler Foods and shop there and save on your Thanksgiving meal, on everything you need in your pantry. It's a very smart decision. We do it in our family. I hope you will too. RulerFoods.com.
In Missouri, farming isn't just a profession, it's a purpose. You can feel it in our 27 million acres of farmland. You can see it in the nearly 41,000 Missourians who work in agriculture. You can hear it at our farmers markets. You can count it in the $93.7 billion it brings our state. And you can taste it at your family's dinner table. A lot of farmers in our state rely on Bayer's tools and inventions because Bayer has a purpose too. To help farmers thrive. Learn more at go.bayer.com/purpose. Paid for by Bayer.
Mark Cox here. If you're nearing retirement or already retired, call my friends Thomas Helbig and Bob Kershaw with the Retirement Advisory Group. They'll show you how to link to the market without the risk. They're the official financial advisors of my show. Go online to retirementkey.com.
Right now, 38 states allow sports betting, including 7 of Missouri's neighboring states. Amendment 2 gives Missouri sports fans the freedom to bet on games too, and that will generate over $100 million for our schools. Amendment 2 is endorsed by the Chiefs, Cardinals, Royals, Blues, and Missouri's 2 biggest newspapers, the St. Louis Post-Dispatch and the Kansas City Star. Here's Hall of Famer Ozzie Smith asking you to vote yes on 2.
Back in my day, I was the wizard of the infield. Now, I'm a grandfather.
That's why I'm voting yes on Amendment 2. It means over $100 million for Missouri schools and teachers, and no more broken promises. There's a constitutional guarantee that the money goes to our schools, and legalizing sports betting is great for us fans, too. That's why the Royals, Chiefs, Blues, and Cardinals all join me in saying yes on Amendment 2.
Paid for by Winning for Missouri Education, Mike Pridmore, Treasurer.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely on advertisements.
You entrusted a nursing home with the care of a loved one, but they violated that trust. If your family member has been the victim of nursing home neglect, call Onder Law at 844-BED-SORE.
This summer, children throughout our region will hear the devastating news that they have been diagnosed with a critical illness. But there is hope, there is you. You can transform lives this summer by supporting the Make-A-Wish Foundation and helping to deliver hope, strength, and joy in a time when it is needed most. Your donations will truly change lives and restore childhood back to those who have lost it due to a medical diagnosis. Visit wish.org/MoCan to give the gift of a wish today.
You've listened to 97.1 FM Talk. You've heard of Doug Voss of Voss Financial and Safe Money Radio, as he has been a staple as the financial expert on the station for many years. You can hear him on Safe Money Radio several times a weekend right here on 97.1 FM Talk. And you can talk to Doug Voss directly. Here's his number. Call Doug at 844-676-SAFE. That is 844-676-7233. Doug Voss is a registered representative. Securities offered through D.H. Hill Securities, LLLP. Member FINRA and SIPC.
Do Democrat elites really think Trump supporters are garbage? Yes or no? That's the YouTube live chat poll of the day. And there have been a variety of opinions on this. We'd like to hear yours. You get it by typing in Annie Fry on YouTube, and today's date will come up. You can find the poll there and the live stream. Tune in with the live stream. That's where you can make comments. 1:49. This time check is sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating and Air Conditioning.
It's time for a $98 furnace tune-up.
It's the most critical election of our time. The stakes have never been higher.
So grab your popcorn and MAGA hats and let's party.
Join the Annie Fry Show for an online watch party. Details at 971talk.com.
I like where we are when we drive in your car. I like where
You're listening to the Annie Fry Show. The Annie Fry Show is streaming online. Watch us live on YouTube and subscribe.
Have you used the dumb button yet on this show?
Yes, but not on this board.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Oh, that's what I meant.
This is the first time on this board, yeah.
Because it's on the other side of the board, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
did you have a moment of, where'd it go?
No,
he nailed it.
Because somebody put a big sign right over here that says dump. And the button's
that's
red.
Ryan. He puts big signs everywhere that says
I do
dump.
that.
He likes to do it from across the room.
Uh-huh. Yeah, I like to warn people. Dump. Careful. Warning. Achtung, baby.
What?
This is German for attention.
Yeah.
Who knew that? Well, I don't know.
It's KFTK history.
It
First
is.
dump on the new board.
Yeah, what if any other
Maybe we gotta talk to the other shows. We gotta talk to the other shows.
I was telling you off air that like when you have to hit the dump button, there's so much pressure because despite looking at it 1,000 times, you hear something and you're like, "Where's the dump button? I gotta find it." You're looking everywhere, and
Panic.
then that's been the result of me missing the dump button before. So
You hit the wrong button.
I find that it's easier to hit the dump when you just kind of relax.
You got a lot on your mind. You just need to unload.
Yeah. You just kind of
Boys, I'm going to
take
get
a step
another
back.
handwritten letter.
A preview of Friday's show.
I want
Get you a shampoo bottle, read the ingredients, just hit that dump button.
Mm-hmm. Yep. I do want to point out that you were right in the middle of all of this. And so you were taking calls, and then we took a call, had to get Annie McCarthy, and it's like, snap, we got to move. In the midst of that, though, the original argument, and this is the argument that's funny that the White House is making, that it's not just that first caller that we had to do the dump button. It's that the White House is saying, no, that's not what Joe Biden said. They released the transcript. They put an apostrophe in there. And they said, no, he was talking about one person, Trump supporters, as in like possessive one person. And then Kamala Harris comes out and goes, I want to distance myself from that remark. It totally undermines the spin that the White House was putting on it. So you're not just disagreeing with Annie or me or pundits.
I think that one guy was disagreeing with me.
Well, I think he was, but not just you. He's also disagreeing with Kamala Harris and the Kamala Harris PR team.
You know, I think we should explain. We're talking about the dump button a lot, where it's the actual radio term, children.
We are referring to it as no other thing.
That's false. We're having an industry conversation with people who may not understand. So, Ryan, why don't you explain how that works? What just happened?
So, when somebody comes on and just loses, like if Annie starts pushing back on some of my points, and I just lose my mind.
If Annie starts pushing back on some of my points.
Yeah, if I come in here and I'm like, Ron DeSantis isn't going to be the nominee, and you guys just kind of like go crazy or something, and then I start cussing or whatever, something happens like that, then there is something called a dump button. And that is so that what goes out over the airwaves, which are publicly owned and regulated by the FCC.
And your tax dollars.
If something goes out over those airwaves that is deemed inappropriate, and that's a line that sometimes moves, but what happened in the first segment was definitely over that line. There was no doubt that was over that line. If that happens, the producer, Brad, working the board, will hit the dump button, and it erases, 5 seconds?
6 seconds.
6 seconds?
We always are on a delay.
Yeah, so whatever you're hearing right now, we said
we do live radio
5 seconds ago. And
ooh, that's weird to think. Because you said it right now.
I can't get into the physics of it.
He's getting so meta.
When will then be now?
I can't.
Soon.
No. We can't think about this, because if I start trying to talk 5 seconds ago, it's going to get all messed up. But that erases the 5 seconds, and then the dump button will kind of catch back up over the next several minutes.
Yeah, wherever there's breaks.
There's tiny little breaks that it'll kind of catch back up. So that's how that works. Now, that doesn't happen on the internet. So because the internet is not airwaves.
Yeah, our apologies to the people on the YouTube Live who got to hear what I got called.
To everybody listening on the app.
Especially your children, if your children heard that.
Yeah. Yeah, we like to think of ourselves as a nice, clean, family-friendly show. We don't like doing...
PG.
Yeah, PG.
You're looking at now, sir.
Thank you.
Everything that happens now is happening now.
What happened to then?
We passed then.
When?
Just now. We're at now.
Go back to then.
When?
Now.
Now?
Now.
I can't.
Why?
We missed it.
When?
Just now.
When will then be now? Soon.
So as you're hearing that clip, that actually played 5 seconds ago.
That was then. Not now.
That's right.
I mean, it's true.
Yeah.
It's the most...
We're just trying to
actually
break down the barriers.
accurate description of what's happening a la Spaceballs.
Thank you for pronouncing it in the French fashion.
I pronounced it that way on purpose.
Are these fried potatoes? Yes, but they are French fried potatoes. Thank you very much.
What? That's not in Spaceballs.
Pronounced?
You said pronounced.
No, I didn't.
Yes, you did.
No.
You
don't
did
dump
then.
that.
It's too late. We had to dump John.
When?
Then.
Now?
When will then be now?
This is 5 seconds ago if you're listening.
On the podcast.
I think we just did our first Who's On First. We're on Abbott and Costello and Brad. Hey! There's an election coming up.
He's still listening, too. It's bad, though. I don't have anything left in the next 20 seconds other than to vote in the YouTube live chat poll. Do Democrat elites really think Trump supporters are garbage? I can think of one that thinks I'm garbage. Yes or no? Go vote. We'll be right back.
Guys, it's time to take charge of your health with my friends at Victory Men's Health. Mark Cox here. I already love what they do at Victory. They do hormone optimization, sexual health, weight loss, even vitamin deficiencies. Now they're offering specialty cardiovascular testing and even early detection cancer screening. Visit them at one of their 4 great locations, now in Sunset Hills, Town and Country, O'Fallon, Missouri, and O'Fallon, Illinois. Tell them Mark Cox sent you. Go to victorymenshealth.com.
Why do the national tax resolution firms need the tiny fine print at the bottom of all their TV ads? Hi, this is Lance Drury with the Lance Drury Law Firm. You don't hear fast-talking disclaimers in our ads because the claims we make are 100% transparent. The Lance Drury Law Firm primarily focuses on one thing, IRS problems, and we're regulated by the Bar Association, and we have a AAA rating with the Better Business Bureau. IRS issues are serious legal issues. The Lance Drury Law Firm has helped thousands of clients navigate the best resolution plans, and we tell you up front exactly how much it'll cost. Tax resolution law is all we do. So before you send money to some out-of-town, high-pressure salesperson, give us a call at the Lance Drury Law Firm, located right here in St. Louis. Call today to schedule your free consultation with me, 314-260-6120, or visit LanceDruryLaw.com.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
Well, there's a very good chance as you've driven down your street, you have admired houses in your neighborhood that have been covered in Rhino Shield, and you don't even know it. Except if you pay close attention, you'll notice that they're not being repainted every couple of years. What I mean is same bright, vivid colors that you would choose with regular paint, except that Rhino Shield lasts. And you're going to get a 25-year warranty with it. I've got it on my house, and I mean it. It looks like it did the day they put it on. It lasts and lasts. It's lab tested to last that long against chipping or peeling or cracking. And they put this on businesses as well. Condo units from Springfield, Illinois, all the way down to the Lake of the Ozarks. You can find it. And my friend Darren will be happy to come over and give you a free evaluation of your home. All you have to do is call him. Tell him you heard Mark Cox talking about it. 877-25-RHINO or online at 877-25rhino.com.
Life is challenging and ever-changing. Take control with passive income through real estate investing. Learn how. Learn now. Let Del Walmsley and Lifestyles Unlimited's investors and mentors show you. Meet Del's team live in St. Louis. 2 days only at the Hilton Frontenac, Saturday and Sunday, November 9th and 10th. Register now at DelHelpMeNow.com. That's DelHelpMeNow.com. Enter promo code 2024 for a special discount offer. DelHelpMeNow.com. Code 2024.
KFTK FM Florissant. From the Under Law Injury Lawyers, GetJim.com studio.
That's GetJim.com.
97.1 FM Talk. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
The former president fires back. Lisa Brady, Fox News, at a rally in North Carolina.
Joe Biden finally said what he and Kamala really think of our supporters. He called them garbage.
President Biden has since said he was referring to hateful rhetoric about Puerto Rico used by a comedian at a Trump rally over the weekend. Former President Trump, though, says the current administration has treated the country like garbage.
There's never going to be an excuse for what they've done to this country. For the past 9 years, Kamala and her party have called us racist, bigots, fascists, deplorables, irredeemables, Nazis. And they've called me Hitler.
He says it's time to turn the page, which is what Vice President Kamala Harris says about him holding her own North Carolina rally in Raleigh.
We know who Donald Trump is. This is not someone who is thinking about how to make your life better.
Calling Trump unstable and consumed with grievance.
In less than 90 days, either he or I will be in the Oval Office.
Repeating her pledge to focus on a to-do list if elected president, with lowering the cost of living at the top. White House spokeswoman Karine Jean-Pierre just confirming President Biden will attend the inauguration, no matter who wins.
It's not about him. It's about the American people. That's what the American people need to see, regardless of who wins. The American people, he understands this, needs to see a peaceful transfer of power, and that's what you're going to see from the president. And that's part of that, right? Attending the inauguration.
Jean-Pierre also says the FBI will investigate ballot box fires, calling the incidents unacceptable. In Oregon and Washington state, there have been reports that incendiary devices used to set ballot boxes on fire had Free Gaza written on them. America is listening to Fox News.
Moments like my daughter telling me a new joke mean a lot to me. But after being diagnosed with metastatic breast cancer, or MBC, which is breast cancer that is spread to other parts of the body, they mean even more. I take Ibrance, palbociclib.
Ibrance 125 milligram tablets with an aromatase inhibitor is for adults with HR-positive, HER2-negative NBC as the first hormonal-based therapy. Ask your doctor about Ibrance and visit Ibrance.com. Ibrance may cause low white blood cell counts that may lead to serious infections. Ibrance may cause severe inflammation of the lungs. Both of these can lead to death. Tell your doctor right away if you have new or worsening symptoms, including trouble breathing, shortness of breath, cough, or chest pain. Before taking Ibrance, tell your doctor if you have fever, chills, or other signs of infection, liver or kidney problems, are or plan to become pregnant, or are breastfeeding. Common side effects include low red blood cell and low platelet counts, infections, tiredness, nausea, sore mouth, abnormalities in liver blood tests, diarrhea, hair thinning or loss, vomiting, rash, and loss of appetite.
Air Comfort Service, heating, cooling, and insulation, weather.
Windy and warm with plenty of sunshine on this Wednesday afternoon, 84 for the high tonight. A couple of thunder showers developing primarily after midnight, 64. Halloween Thursday, morning showers, temperatures in the 60s but falling into the 50s Thursday afternoon under partly sunny skies. Trick-or-treat time, 49-50, clear skies going down to 42 Thursday night. This is 97.1 FM Talk. Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
You want to retire soon, but everyone keeps telling you to wait until you're 65. After all, that's the age that you qualify for Medicare and you're close to full retirement age. I'm Marvin Mitchell, president of Compass Retirement Solutions. In my new book, Retire Early, the 9 critical decisions when retiring before 65, I discuss proper planning to help make early retirement possible. When to take Social Security, what to do with your 401k, health care, how to maximize retirement income, and much more. Get a complimentary copy of Retire Early by calling 1-800-743-8510. That's 1-800-743-8510. Can you retire early? Call 1-800-743-8510 for your copy of Retire Early, the 9 critical decisions when retiring before 65.
Investments and services offered through Compass Retirement Group, a registered investment advisory in Missouri and Illinois. Compass Retirement Solutions is not affiliated with the U.S. government or any governmental agency.
We've been hearing so long about government mandates all these years. It's coming true unless something changes this year yet. Then maybe it could be stopped. If not, homeowners, if you need an air conditioner, if your air conditioner is old now, get the equipment that you can still get before they say you can't have it. Not to scare you, they scared you. I'm just saying, the equipment we have right now, unbelievably better than what you have because your equipment's 15 or 20 or 30 or 40 years old. So if you're looking and if your system's that old or if people are saying it's old and you do, I'm not going to waste your time. But if you call me, one easy number in Missouri and Illinois, the easiest of numbers. All right. So it's not the easiest. I have forgotten the number, even as many times as I put it up. But 314-293-2600 or go to internet, bartinman.com. That's Bart with a B, Inman with an I.com. God bless.
You've been listening to the very popular Wellness One for many years, Saturdays and Sundays on 97.1 FM Talk. We're happy to share that we've expanded the show to 4 times a week. Yes, 4 times every weekend. Saturday at 10 a.m., Saturday at 8 p.m., Sunday at 9 a.m., and Sunday at 2 p.m. It's the same great show designed to cut through the nonsense and provide you a common sense, science-based strategy for a healthy life. So join TJ and Aaron for Wellness One. Now 4 times a week on 97.1 FM Talk.
If you're experiencing low energy, brain fog, or bloating, then your body might need a detox. Active Liver from New Nordic makes it easy to help your liver to detox your body all year long without major changes to your diet or lifestyle. Active Liver is available in stores at CVS or online at Amazon.
97.1 FM Talk is your home for Election Night 2024. On air and online, we're covering the races that matter most to you with real-time results and expert commentary. Democracy 2024.
That is exactly what I needed to hear.
Thank God someone here knows what they're talking about.
That's us. That's right. Gotta love this American ride.
All right, you need to take the time and get the full picture.
Don't get me wrong, I love the ladies. I mean, they rev my engine, but they don't belong in the newsroom. It is Anchor Man, not Anchor Lady.
What do you want from me? I'm not America's sweetheart.
Goodness sake, kid. Keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not America's
This is the Annie Fry Show.
Welcome back to the Annie Fry Show. We are so grateful to be with you this afternoon, and thank you for tuning in to us here on 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis's home for conservative talk. We're discussing this throughout the course of the show. Do Democrat elites really think Trump supporters are garbage? Yes or no? You can go leave your vote in the Annie Fry YouTube channel. Some of the comments that are left here by listeners so far, Erica says a lot of them do, especially the Democrat leaders. I'm a proud deplorable. That word certainly has stuck over the course of the years. I mean, that was 2016, right?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that was during the campaign.
Jackie says, yes, they have shown their disdain in various ways. Brian says, it's pretty clear what the Dems think. Hillary called us deplorables and unredeemable. Biden has spent 4 years demonizing MAGA and now garbage. I now identify with Oscar the Grouch. It's kind of interesting to watch, in my opinion, Republicans, Trump supporters specifically, that you hear that Trump says that you're garbage, and Republicans are like, I guess we're garbage. Like there's not this sense of rage, that follows something like that. And now I've seen Trump refer to, I guess it was Hillary, as a nasty woman, and then you see a lot of women who are in support of Hillary doing the same thing. You now see the nasty woman shirts or whatever it might be. The interesting thing, this is a weird path to follow, so make sure you follow me all the way to the end. I really question Donald Trump's campaign choosing to put Kill Tony in that set of people who were going to speak at Madison Square Garden. And I sent this to our boss, Steve. Have you seen the Jon Stewart clip talking about that?
Yes.
Have you seen it?
Maybe.
He's doing his Jon Stewart Daily Show thing, and he plays a clip of Kill Tony's, I guess it's Tom Brady's roast or something like that. I don't know. He was roasting somebody. And Kill Tony makes 3 jokes that are of racial content. It's a roast. That's what happens at these things. When those things happen at roasts, everybody ends up laughing about it. You don't go to honestly, if you go to a roast and you're a celebrity and you're invited and you don't get made fun of, how do you feel?
A little bit left out of the club at that point.
One of them was, who's the comedian? He's really short. He's black.
Kevin Hart.
One of them was Kevin Hart. I think there was
Gronk.
Gronk was one of them.
Mm-hmm.
He just makes these racial jokes, and that's what he does. You invite him to be on the campaign. I don't know what they thought that he was going to do other than what he does. But in a roundabout way, we used to live in a country where people said things and you made a judgment on it and then you went on with your day. That you didn't have to signal to the world how you feel about everything, not because you feel that strongly about it, but just so that you make sure that nobody is going to apply to you the wave of hate that will righteously be heaped upon you if you don't do the tap dance the way that you're supposed to do the tap dance. If you don't hit all of your marks in time, in lockstep with everybody else. That is a power structure that has manipulated culture for a decade, at minimum a decade. We have been so careful for so long. Why? Because we're nice people. In general, we're kind people where our thoughts might be like Jon Stewart said, and I talked to Steve about this, about playing this clip, and we were both like, we can probably play it, but I don't know if we should play it because it's got these off-color jokes in it. And
Steve, our boss.
Steve, our boss,
Yeah.
yes. And I don't want to be, we don't do a show here. We're not a shock jock show at all. I always want my kids to be able to go back and listen to my show, and I don't want to be, I don't want them to listen to the show and be like, Mom, I respect the fact that you might have your kids in the car at any time. We used to live in a society where jokes were jokes. We grew up with sticks and stones may break my bones, but words will never hurt me. And there was an emphasis on the idea that, like, you can be stronger than the words that are used against you. If somebody's going to use violence on you, that's a whole different story. But that words aren't violence. The idea that words are violence, there's like a concept there that's worth flushing out and having a conversation about. But we've actually justified real, actual violence in this country in the last 10 years over words. And it's so inverted and upside down. In a country where we have a First Amendment and free speech, we have to live in a society where people are able to say things that people disagree with, that people are able to say things that some people might find offensive, and not justify violence over offense. There's this weird thing that's like kind of rolling around in my head that, like, if Donald Trump is able to pull off a victory next week, like, a lot of people are really actively right now working to be prepared to be offended again all of the time. But it's like, I don't really care about that anymore, because nobody cares about what offends me. Nobody cares that as a Christian person, I'm offended by the way culture is right now. My Christian faith says that there are so many things in a broken, sinful world that are massively offensive to me. My own sin is massively offensive to me. I am a part of the problem. All of this stuff is offensive, but for some reason, that part doesn't matter right now because of my place in some social hierarchy that has been manipulated and managed by power structures that have made tons and tons and tons of money off of making sure that they get to control the language. Once again, I watched Am I Racist again last night, Matt Walsh's movie. It's streaming on Daily Wire right now. You need to see it if you haven't. And the thing about that movie that is so compelling to me is that Matt Walsh never makes the case that racism isn't real. Matt Walsh never makes the case that racism doesn't exist. Matt Walsh makes the case that there are people making loads of money off of ensuring that you are scared as hell of being called a racist, being labeled a racist, being accused of being a racist. It is an industry to control the way people do life, the way they think, the way they speak. There is a massive, lucrative industry that is just based off of people's fear of being labeled or associated with something that they never, ever, ever would intend to be associated with. Who you are as a person, who you are as an American, who you are as a white person, who you are as a non-white person, who you are as a male, who you are as a female. None of that has anything to do with anything because they get to create a system where everybody is inherently racist. There's nothing you can do about your inherent racism. The only thing you can do is be less racist, and it's a daily thing that they will sell you. That's the whole makeup of it. And so there's these power structures that exist because they've controlled all the levers of communication for so long in Hollywood and music and in the media industry, that once those have started to crumble and there are alternative media outlets for people to go peek around the corner and see, like, oh my gosh, those people are more like me. Those are kind of like real people. And there's no massive power structure over them that's keeping the beast completely contained, that free speech beast that exists in America and makes us free. They've had their hands squarely on the levers of power for quite some time. And I feel like the Trump campaign saying, let them be on there, is in some way, shape, or form a nod to free speech. And I think that it's a stupid one to make. I feel like don't do that after the election. If you want to do that after the election. It's a risk to take it right now. But I just feel like there are no people. There are no people. I know caller Michael, appreciate him calling in when we open the phones, supports the left. I know that the point he was making there is that there are going to be Puerto Ricans who heard what that comedian said an hour and a half or whatever before Trump spoke at that rally, that there are going to be hundreds of thousands of Puerto Ricans who are not going to vote for Trump right now. I bet there aren't 10.
It's a lot less than
I bet
the manufactured outrage would suggest.
There are not 10 people who, with less than a week to go, are like mulling over, gosh, I just don't know if I can support this guy. If they're Puerto Ricans who are in America and able to vote, they understand the poverty that has ravaged Puerto Rico. Marco Rubio is a perfect example of the understanding of coming from those areas and understanding what abject poverty does to people who come to this country, their absolute passionate love for America. That doesn't translate into, we'll dabble in socialism. That doesn't translate. Those people are not in play.
And you know that they're trying to use it as a political tool because Joe Biden, in quotes, issued a statement today about his real quote from yesterday from the Vote Latino podcast that he was on, or whatever that was, that Zoom call. And it said, well, Trump is out there trashing Latinos, like all Latinos, not Puerto Rico. And also, it wasn't Trump. It was a comedian. And it's just amazing to watch the machine roll out, because what's funny is when a comment like that hits the news, I watched a couple people in my life, my wife being one of them, see that news hit and go, oh no, here we go. Because they were bracing not for the sort of the comments or the voting. They were bracing for the machine. What's the machine going to do now? And how is this going to impact the next couple days for me of having to sift through this when I really would like to read real news? If
Donald Trump went out there and, the first thing he said when he came out at Madison Square Garden was, the question you need to ask yourself is, are you better off now than you were 4 years ago? That's the message that people are asking themselves when they're deciding if they should go vote and who they should vote for. If Donald Trump would have come out and been like, Puerto Rico, man, what a dump, then I would be like, facepalm, what are you talking about? He didn't say that. Donald Trump didn't say that about Puerto Rico. Somebody at his event did. That brushes off a little bit on him. They made the statement that they don't, that the campaign does not stand by those statements. And that's not enough. Of course, that's not enough. Joe Biden, the guy who, literally is the president of the United States, the guy who represents you right now at the highest level of American government, has just come out and said that half of the people in this country are garbage. It's 50-50. He's the guy who sold us a bill of goods in his inauguration speech talking about unity. The same crap that Kamala Harris is trying to shovel into your lap right now to say she wants unity. Well, you've had 4 years to give it a shot, and you've been calling people fascists and Nazis that don't support you for the last 2 weeks. Doesn't really feel like you mean it.
Yeah, we're supposed to take a comedian seriously, but the president not seriously. That's what
the comedian who spoke early at that Madison Square Garden rally is a bigger influence on Donald Trump's presidency than the actual president over the vice president who is running right now saying these kinds of things. I mean, we don't even really need to explain it any further than that.
No, because this is the same game that's been played well before Donald Trump. This is the same machine that's been working for, probably since the mid-'90s. This became a thing.
Aren't you ready for being after the election and having, all right, that's how it is?
Oh, my gosh, yes.
Whatever it is, okay. Well, you either go stick your head in the sand.
Yeah.
Or you just you give that smile to people. Can't stop smiling, and somebody smiles back, and you're like, wink, wink. And then you just keep moving through the Walmart aisles or whatever it is.
It's funny you say that, because right before we started the 2 o'clock hour, I walked out there and I said, you know what? I actually, for the first time, am tired of this election.
Yes.
I like crunching the numbers. I like the horse race. I like the lead up. I like the strategy. I like watching these people do their thing and watching through, being able to see through it and see what's really going on. I just hit that point. And I said, okay, Tuesday can be here now. I'm ready.
Wednesday.
Based on the early voting numbers, a lot of people feel that way. Just let me vote and
Get it over with.
Get it over with.
Let's take a quick break and go vote in the YouTube live chat poll and get that over with, too. Anti-Fry YouTube channel. Do Democrat elites really think that Trump supporters are garbage, like Joe Biden said? Did he even really mean it? Maybe you don't even think he meant it. Melinda called in earlier, and she's like, I support Trump. I don't really think that he was speaking for everybody necessarily, because she doesn't really think that he's saying anything really that intentionally. And I understand that, too. Let's have some fun on the Annie Fry Show when we come back. Don't go away.
This is the Annie Fry Show. Interact with Annie on Facebook. The Annie Fry Show.
TheDiamondShop.net. That's the website, TheDiamondShop.net. Beautiful, sparkling, timeless pieces are waiting for you to go visit in Clayton, to walk into the Diamond Shop. They've been here in St. Louis since 1910, and they are situated in a really wonderful place there, right in Clayton, simple to get to. You can shop through the rest of the month, which the month is getting pretty close to wrapping up today and tomorrow. Blackstone jewelry is 50% off, and get there before the getting's gone. 50% off all diamond studs. 50% off diamond studs. They have their trade-in and trade-up event. All diamond studs that are purchased at the Diamond Shop are eligible for this trade-up event. When you spend $1 more on your entire purchase price of your diamond studs, they will be credited towards your new purchase when you trade them in. So save on a beautiful gift. Christmas is coming up right around the corner. It's almost November, which means Christmas time is here. Reach out to the Diamond Shop online. Become a VIP to save extra. All the details at thediamondshop.net.
Weather can be unpredictable nowadays, but your local news station on the free Odyssey app has got you covered. Whether you need an umbrella, windbreaker, or an extra layer, or two, we'll let you know. Download the free Odyssey app and search for your local news station to listen on your smartphone or ask your smart speaker to play it before you head out the door. Download the free Odyssey app and search for your local news station. That's AUDACY.
Are you worried about the state of the economy? Concerned about market crashes and rising inflation wiping out your savings? At Noble Gold Investments, we understand your fears and have a solution. Call us today at 1-888-403-1050. Imagine safeguarding you and your family with a tangible asset that has stood the test of time. Gold. With Noble Gold Investments, you can diversify your portfolio and protect your wealth from economic turmoil. Our team will guide you through the process, ensuring you make informed decisions that best suit your needs. Call Noble Gold Investments today at 1-888-403-1050. That's 1-888-403-1050. The future is uncertain. Take control now. Call 1-888-403-1050.
Past performance may not be indicative of future results. Investing in precious metals, including gold, involves risks. Consult with your tax attorney or financial professional before making an investment decision.
To have a roof over your head, a nice roof over your head, is very important.
That's Rick talking about his experience with Rhino Shield ceramic coating.
We got Rhino Shield 18 years ago, and they're very cooperative on getting us the right paint. They were in and out and done in no time. Once it was finished, looked great. We were very happy with it.
The main reason Rick called Rhino Shield is because it's backed by a 25-year transferable warranty.
We've watched a lot of people get their house painted 3 or 4 times, and we haven't had to do any of it. I don't know about you guys, but I don't want to have to paint it every 5-7 years.
Take a tip from Rick and put down the paintbrush and call Rhino Shield for your free evaluation. 877-25-RHINO. 877-25-RHINO. Or visit 877-25rhino.com.
We got Rhino Shield 18 years ago. Financially makes sense, especially if it's going to last like this did. Still looks great.
Call now. 877-25-RHINO or 877-25rhino.com.
No pain, don't Rhino. Go Rhino Shield. Never paint your house again. Rhino Shield.
Grill Master Tony's cooking up a spooky special for your October. Mark Cox here. How about brisket chili with beans for 10 people, 10 pounds of pre-smoked jumbo wings, 4 pounds of pulled pork, the slider buns, the St. Louis-style sauce, just $225 for 10 people. He's also going to have some specials coming up for Thanksgiving celebrations, and those will be online soon. You can order right now from Grill Master Tony. Just go to grillmastertony.com.
You're listening to the Annie Fry Show live from the Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Insulation Studio. Replace your old furnace or HVAC system and save up to $2,100 with Carrier Cool Cash rebates. For details and a free estimate, visit aircomfortservice.com.
The minds and voices that shape America are talking here.
This is Brian Kilmeade. This is Griff Jenkins from Fox News. This is Jimmy Fallon.
Stream it on the Odyssey app.
97.1 FM Talk.
97.1 on the Odyssey app on your phone. You're listening to The Annie Fry Show. Find the podcast, on-demand audio, and more at 971talk.com/Annie.
Welcome back to the Annie Fry Show. Do you, as we're all over 40, some of us a little bit more than others, do you feel your age, does it affect you? Because I think when you're under 40, you don't really feel your age. It's not really a thought. You're just you.
Yeah. Well, you start to get there. It's a gradient.
Yeah.
But there is something magic about that number.
It's rude.
That when you hit it, things don't feel as easy.
What about mentally?
I don't feel any different.
Do you have a different outlook on life at all?
Oh, outlook. There's the over the hill thing where you go, man, I hope that I've got really good years ahead of me.
Doesn't that really feel more like the boomer, like our parents went through 40 and over the hill, but I don't feel like our generation is treating it the same.
Well, you can
maybe the hill is 50 now.
You can just tell. Well, I hope so. That means the average life expectancy would be 100. You can tell that when you, like, for instance, watch a movie from the 70s or even 80s, maybe 90s too, and somebody who's the dad of the teenager, man, they look old. Now you look at somebody who's that same age in real life, and you don't think that person looks that old. But you definitely did then.
Do you think that they, like, if you go back and watch that same person in the 70s, do you think that they look old now that you're closer to that age?
Yes. I still think they look old. That's the thing, is that I think healthcare and the way that we treat just the way we present ourselves looks so different. And there are people, they say that 70 is the new 60 and all that. You know, people travel, people are much more active later in life than they used to be. Probably because life is not as hard as it used to be, physically.
Did you see Father of the Bride? Steve Martin, Diane Keaton?
I mean, probably right when it came out.
I've got a picture of it up here on the YouTube live. But if you remember Steve Martin, I love that movie, and Diane Keaton, they're supposed to be 45. And if I saw them right now, I would think they looked 70.
Yeah, some of that's fashion, for sure. But the fact that people just are active longer now is true. That's a fact.
It's just weird to look back at what we grew up of what, like, quote unquote, old people looked like, and the age that we associated with old. It just seems very, very different right now. Apartmenttherapy.com wrote an article, and I'm going to read this to you guys, and you can tell me if you have maybe clung to these things a little bit too long. 11 things to get rid of after 40. And I find this list to be interesting and probably applicable to my life. Number one, I don't know if this is much as a man thing, but going out tops from college.
Wait a minute. Going out. Oh, shirts?
Things that you would wear to go out.
Is that a real guy that wrote that? Because we don't call them tops.
I didn't say that it was a man that wrote it, but I do. It is definitely not a man that wrote it. Shifra Komiths, I think is her last name. on apartmenttherapy.com. Do you save any of your old, like, this is I'm going out and looking good outfit, shirt, tie, I don't know, jacket, cool dude, get up?
No.
Did you ever have that? When you were a young whippersnapper, maybe before you were engaged or before you were dating your beautiful wife, did you have kind of a few go-tos?
Look.
Yes, you did.
Everybody has go-to shirts.
What was your go-to
even
shirt?
Now.
What was your go-to cool dude shirt when you were trying to make an impression on people?
I'll tell you exactly what it was. And this is funny because I ended up doing this for a living. I had a shirt that was kind of ridiculous because it was just the seal of the Illinois Supreme Court. And it looked good on me, and it made no sense.
Who told you it looked good on you?
Me. And therefore, I wore it pretty often.
Yeah. Whenever it was clean, first one worn?
That was my shirt.
Mm-hmm.
Because it was just like, why? Why are you wearing a shirt that says seal of the Supreme Court of Illinois?
That really
I have no idea.
That really is like very good advertising for you.
How so?
Because someone goes, "Why are you wearing that shirt?" And you're like, I don't have a reason other than it's completely ridiculous.
Yeah, you want to go on a date?
Okay. What about you, Brad? Cool dude stuff?
I don't have any cool dude stuff, and I'm not really sure that I had like favorite shirts, but they were just T-shirts. It wasn't like I liked it because of the way it fit, not necessarily because it was this makes me look good. I felt this is comfortable. So
you have to answer that question too.
Oh, sure.
You did and do?
I don't know if I have anything left from college. My problem is that, not my problem, my blessing is that I've had 4 babies. So the sizes that I have been in my life, from college to where I am right now, I'm kind of in like my middle size. I have weighed more than I weigh right now. I've weighed less than I weigh right now, but I'm in that standard female. I could stand to lose 10 to 15 pounds. But I'm still active and I'm still like physically involved in athletics and stuff like that. So I've gotten rid of the big stuff. I've gotten rid of the things that I would wear post baby or the non-maternity clothes that I would wear as I was growing in pregnancy. I've gotten rid of all of that stuff. I've tried to get rid of the stuff that I don't think I'm realistically going to fit in anymore that looks good because I just don't like to look at it in my closet any longer. There's some other stuff. Every once in a while I'll go in there, I'm like, I have to get rid of every single thing. When I go in my closet and I'm like, no. There are maybe 5 times a year I'll go in and everything that I say that to, I take out and get rid of. And then for some reason, I still have a ton of clothes.
I had a shirt when I was in 4th or 5th grade. That was a Dare shirt. It was gigantic.
Yeah?
And I loved wearing that thing to bed. I think that I need to find a new, like, 4XL Dare shirt that I can just wear to bed every night. Those are the best days.
Number 2, DVDs and CDs. You still have them?
Oh, yeah.
Do you have it in your... I have mine in my folder still somewhere.
I don't play a lot of DVDs anymore. I do have some series that you can't find anywhere that I will watch every now and then. But I still listen to CDs because both of my cars are 10 years old. They have CD players.
So they take them? We have DVDs because our car takes DVDs. So I will buy DVDs at yard sales because most people are getting rid of them, and I can use them for the car. So we still have those. I have my CDs, but I have no idea where they are. They're
the only thing about the DVDs now is that when you go to a secondhand store or yard sale or whatever, you're going to see the same 200 DVDs.
Yeah.
It's the same movies.
Yeah.
And if you find something that's different, it's really a surprise.
DVDs and CDs, Brad?
Lots of DVDs.
Do you use them?
My wife does. Remington Steele. It's an older TV series with Pierce Brosnan. She loves that show, and she's got the DVD set. Anymore, though, if we want to watch another TV series, we just get it on Amazon Prime or
you just
whatever.
stream it.
I don't know that I have any of my CDs. I might have one book, and it's just kind of there.
Book?
Yeah, the little holder.
Oh,
and you'll
yeah.
open it up, and when I look at the CDs, it's like, oh, I remember where I was whenever I would listen to this one or whatever, and it takes me back to that moment, but I don't even have a CD player in my truck anymore. It's all multimedia.
Number 3, cookware you haven't used in the last decade. What you remember the stuff you got for your wedding? Like you reserved all of the appliances so you could make all of the appliances that make one individual thing.
Yeah, that was popular for a while. We still have a quesadilla maker and a rice cooker.
Do you use them?
Yeah, we do. But that's why we keep just those 2 around. Everything else, the pizza cookers that were going around for a while. Those were so cool to watch, but they took up space and they are totally unnecessary.
I hate individualized appliances.
Yeah.
It's just they just take up space. We have an air fryer type of a thing.
Well, we have that now too.
That does multiple things. I don't know. My husband cooks most of the time in our house, and it does a lot of things. And it sits on the counter and it takes up space, but it gets used every day.
Exactly.
What about you?
Yeah, I don't know that we have any of that stuff. I mean, like the flatware that Terry got, we still have that she picked out. But no.
Do you use it?
Oh yeah, plates
Okay.
every day, plates and bowls. And
Here's
all
a
that
weird
stuff.
question. If you were to buy a tiny house now, like maybe this becomes a trend, do you even need an oven really anymore?
Yes.
Like, could you get by though?
Two.
I understand that you would want an oven, but do you need an oven
Yes.
to live life?
Yes.
Because I think you could get by with a little toaster oven and an air fryer.
I'm sure you could.
And a few of those things now.
The palette of fried appetizers that you would pop in that thing.
No,
I
That's what I'm eating
definitely
anyway.
would. I definitely would. Number 4, personal care items you don't use. I need to do this so bad. If I went to my bathroom and I looked at all of the bottles that I have in my bathroom that I've collected over the years that are half full, maybe 3/4 full, and I just didn't, for whatever reason, use them, I haven't thrown them away. I just need to get rid of all of them. They just need to go. And if I decide that I need said thing again, then I can go probably for $5 to $8, go find it at Walmart and purchase it again.
I agree.
Do you have, I know that women tend to have more things in the bathroom like that, but do you have like old colognes? Do you have old things of shaving cream, or
No,
you an aftershave guy?
I only have new things of shaving cream and cologne and loofahs, and I've got several
bath salts,
several different loofah cases that I kind of keep in the shower because you never know what kind of mood you're in, But I would say that all the stuff I have, I'm using.
What about your wife?
You have to ask her. I don't know.
Do you share the same bathroom
No,
space
we
with her?
don't. I have a downstairs shower that I use.
So do you even go in her bathroom?
Nope. Well, I go in the bathroom, yes, but I don't shower or bathe in there.
So you don't know her stuff?
No.
What a lucky woman.
No idea.
What about you, Brad?
Well, my wife has her own bathroom as well. I have more stuff than I care to admit. Most of it's like beard care stuff, and that comes and goes as I grow my beard out or I'll keep it short. If I keep it short, there's no need to keep all that oil that you put in your beard when it's longer. But outside of that, there's not really a ton of healthcare stuff that I keep.
Unused outerwear. It says outerwear often involves a larger expenditure than regular clothing, which can make it difficult to part with. Coats that you don't really like. You replace the coat because you need a new coat, but you don't get rid of the coat that you replaced just in case. Of what?
It's all true. I still have an old coat that I don't even like this coat. It's big, it's heavy, and it's not even that warm.
I always think there's somebody right now that would love to have this coat.
Yeah.
And so that's why I end up keeping all of those things. Blankets too that I need to get rid of in my house. I'm like, I don't want to just throw them away because somebody could use those things. But then that's where that's where the process stops.
Who's going to use this Charlotte Hornets starter jacket?
Somebody who's cold.
Or a collector, because that is really old at this point.
Do you keep on to your old stuff?
Not coats. No, I've got a work coat. I've got a regular coat, and then I've got like a, what do you call it, a pea coat that goes over your suit. I got one of those, and those are the 3 winter coats that I have.
Supplies from former hobbies. You're really into something, and then you're like not into it anymore, or you're not realistically participating in it anymore.
Yeah.
This sounds like you more than me.
This is really bad for me. I've got half-started projects, half-finished model airplanes. Man, just odd chunks of wood because I might need that someday. I might need that, the perfect chunk of wood. I think that's the most sign that I'm over 40. It's like this one piece of wood.
I've got some of that stuff in my garage, but I don't ever do anything.
No, you don't.
There's
You don't
no
use
way
it.
that I could justify keeping it.
But you might.
Maybe someday I'll learn how to weld.
I definitely have things that I'll be into more than others, and then I have a lot of ideas. I don't have a lot of time, so I have good intentions. I am making shirts now.
I was gonna say,
Yes.
you've been talking about that.
Yes, I've been doing it, and it's been fun. And I will talk more about that on election night, I think. So subscribe to the YouTube channel and watch the YouTube live broadcast, along with, of course, the results will be airing live on 97.1 FM Talk and Fox News, of course. But that's been my latest hobby, and I've invested in it, and I'll talk more about that then. Number 7, this is an interesting one. Inherited items that you don't love. Have you ever been given something that meant something to somebody else that has a sentimental value that you appreciated the thought, but were like, now what do I do with said thing? Furniture, appliances, something you wear, a piece of jewelry.
This isn't really that emotional for me, but we did inherit some furniture from the people we bought our house from, and I felt so bad getting rid of it. I had no attachment to it.
What kind of furniture?
But it was just a couple chairs. They were comfortable, but they didn't fit the rest of the house. And it took me so long to say, yes, we can get rid of
That's
that.
just because they were, in your mind, free.
I think so.
That's why.
Yeah, it was a good bargain.
Yeah.
Like I got that with the house.
Being able to let that go and then buy the chairs that you want for your space that feel the way you want to feel, that's over 40.
I think the one thing we said, yeah, we don't need that, was the treadmill. And then later I was like, man, I wish I would have kept that treadmill.
Brad, you got anything like that?
Yeah, I do. And it's hard to part with it because it's not because it meant a lot to you. It meant a lot to somebody else, and they thought of you to have it, and so you would think it would be bad to get rid of it.
Number 8, decor you're storing.
No, I don't really have anything like this. Well, maybe some Christmas stuff that you keep but you don't ever use. Some of that stuff, but
Nothing like the stuff for the bar that you're going to have in your house one day.
Well,
that's the dude thing. That's where men come in. They're like, oh, I'm going to have a bar.
I don't know if I'm ever going to actually have a bar, but I've always wanted to have a Dr. Pepper homage somewhere.
It's a man cave.
Well, the most reasonable place to put that would be a bar.
And a bar would make sense.
Yeah.
Dr. Pepper on tap.
Yes, Dr. Pepper on tap. A bunch of Dr. Pepper paraphernalia everywhere.
I'd come hang out with you in that. I mean, I don't even like you that much.
You could just stay there if you wanted to. Hang out down there.
You guys done?
Yeah, we're good.
Number 9. Decor for me, I think that's definitely something. It's like when you don't put it out for the holiday season, when you're like, oh, we'll just leave that tote there. No, get that tote out and get rid of it.
Yeah.
Get rid of the stuff in it, and if it's a good tote, keep the tote.
Totes.
Totes, for sure. Number 9, miscellaneous cords. Do you have a cord depository? Do you have a power supply just in case place in your house?
Yep.
What do you do with that?
Well, in the event that we get a landline again, I want to make sure that I have a splitter.
Is there no possible way that you can go to Radio Shack and get that? You can pick that up.
No, I can't go to Radio Shack and get that. Yeah, I got to keep my box.
Radio Shack is gone?
It is gone. Best Buy's still around, but I don't think they're
Right next to
selling those
Blockbuster.
splitters
What are you talking
anymore. So you got to be sure that you have one.
Or landlines.
I really
the splitter,
appreciate
I just
people
don't
who
have the
have.
phone.
I like when people have landlines now. I'm like, wow,
My
that's
parents
cool.
have one, and I'm like, you will not let go of that. You need to have that. And every time it comes up, they're like, okay.
Do they have a classy old style phone?
They have an answering service. There's a lady who sits there all day.
No kidding. They have a receptionist?
Yeah, it's my mom.
Hope she's getting paid well.
I don't think she thinks so. No, I love the landline. I would have one in my house. We ended up activating one of my old cell phones so that we have a phone in the house. Number 10, manuals.
Yeah.
You can Google all that stuff now.
Yeah, you can just get it on YouTube.
We have like all of our kitchen appliances in the cabinet next to the refrigerator. Like if you ever need to remember how to use the ice cream machine that you can't find, there's the manual.
Exactly. Or if it came with a warranty.
Yes. Last one, books you don't love.
No, I get rid of books I don't love unless the cover's really cool. I have a book that I've never read, but I love the cover, called Nightmares. And it's a book from the 70s with some dude turning into a horse.
Do you have it on display, or is it just sitting on a shelf that you can take out and look at?
It's halfway on display, but it's on display to me.
Well, That's what matters. It's your house.
Yeah.
If it makes you
I walk
happy.
past him, I'm like, nightmares. He's turning into a horse at night.
Do you keep books?
Yeah, it makes you look smart. You just put them up there so everybody's like, man, that guy's got a lot of books. Like, did you read those? And I'll say some of them twice.
Why are they all dusty? That's the way they would be in my
I've
house.
only read some of them twice.
YouTube live chat poll results next. Don't go away.
This is the Annie Fry Show. Follow Annie on Twitter @AnnieFryShow.
The Retirement Advisory Group, find them online at retirementkey.com. Your retirement shift, that place in between working your tail off, saving, sacrificing, you know the drill, into that exhale that comes after you walk out of the job for the last time, and now your time belongs to you. Can you afford it? That's the main question, of course. What transition moves and maneuvers do you need to make when you go to leave work for that final time? The Retirement Advisory Group has the answers for all of those questions, even the questions that you have not thought of yet. When you call 314-993-9494, 314-993-9494, the Retirement Advisory Group is going to set up with you a mutually beneficial, no cost, no obligation review of your retirement. You're going to be able to talk to them about your situation, and they are going to tell you how you can be a part of the Retirement Advisory Group family where they've never had a client lose a penny. 314-993-9494, retirementkey.com.
Right now, 38 states allow for sports betting, including 7 of Missouri's neighboring states. Amendment 2 gives Missouri sports fans the freedom to bet on games too, and that will generate over $100 million for our schools without raising property taxes. Amendment 2 is endorsed by the Chiefs, Cardinals, Royals, Blues, and Missouri's 2 professional soccer teams, the KC Current and St. Louis City. These days, Republicans and Democrats don't agree on much. But the Republican and Democratic candidates for governor are both supporting Amendment 2 because it means more money for education. Amendment 2 isn't like the lottery. There's a strong constitutional guarantee. The new money from sports betting will go to our schools. $100 million for education without raising property taxes. Amendment 2 is endorsed by the St. Louis Post-Dispatch and the Kansas City Star. Vote yes on 2. Paid for by Winning for Missouri Education. Mike Pridmore, Treasurer.
Attention. Have you racked up $10,000 or more in credit card debt? Are you barely getting by making minimum payments? With credit card debt reaching all-time highs, National Debt Relief is notifying consumers about significant debt relief options currently being made available to help those with overwhelming credit card debt. These options may reduce a large portion of credit card debt for those who qualify. You don't need to declare bankruptcy or take out a consolidation loan, and you may only have to pay back a fraction of what you owe, even if you have bad credit. National Debt Relief has already reduced the credit card debt for more than 550,000 consumers, so don't wait. If you owe $10,000, $20,000, or even $100,000 in credit card debt, you can now take advantage of this financial debt relief as the cost of living continues to skyrocket. To check what debt reduction you may qualify for, call 800-481-4455. 800-481-4455. That's 800-481-4455.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely on advertisements.
If you've been hurt on the job, you need the best. Onder Law. Hurt on the job? Call Onder Law today for a free review at 314 or 618-9000000.
Scott, I have a new word, floor-nancing.
What are you saying, flooring or financing?
Actually, both, because at Best Buy Flooring, we have the largest selection of carpet, carpet tile, luxury vinyl plank, luxury vinyl tile, ceramic tile, laminate, and hardwood.
Yes, and free financing for qualified buyers.
3 convenient locations, North County, South County, and O'Fallon, Illinois.
Open 7 days a week, including at South County. Best flooring, best selection, Best Buy Flooring.
The YouTube live chat poll today, do Democrat elites really think that Trump supporters are garbage? We'd like to know what you think. It's a yes or no, but a lot of people, kind of both sides of the aisle, splitting this. Well, I'm not going to give the results of the poll. That's for Ethan. That's 5 minutes from now. You can still vote in this poll by typing in Annie Fry on YouTube. $2.50. This time check is sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating and Air Conditioning.
It's time for a $98 furnace tune-up.
JerryKelly.com.
Good afternoon. It's Mark Reardon back from Houston. Been off for a few days. A lot to say here after Fox News at 3. We get rolling in just a matter of minutes. I haven't even weighed in on the Madison Square Garden rally. I listened to the Joe Rogan podcast. We got a lot coming up here for 3 hours in just a few minutes.
This is the Annie Fry Show. The Annie Fry Show is streaming online. Watch us live on YouTube and subscribe.
Take a seat, take your life, plot it out in black and white.
Welcome back to the Annie Fry Show. Thanks for being with us here this afternoon. Tomorrow is Halloween, correct? Is that right? Am I counting my days correctly?
Yes.
Tomorrow is Halloween. We will be trick-or-treating tonight because the area we live in trick-or-treats the night before. So I'll be excited to show some of the costumes that my kiddos have. I'll do that either tonight on our social medias or the next night. Tomorrow, we dress up in costume. How are we all feeling about the costumes that we are potentially going to have to wear?
I've got a couple that I am rooting for and a couple I'm rooting against. So I guess we'll just see what the people have to say about it.
Whose costume are you most looking forward to seeing?
Brad's.
Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Why Brad's?
Don't give up too much.
Because I think I know what's going to win for Brad,
Yeah?
and that was my choice.
So it's because
I don't have
you
any
picked it
idea
out?
what's going to win for you, but I do have a choice for that too.
What about
We'll
you,
see.
Brad?
I think I am most excited about my costume, or maybe the costume that we secretly picked out for Ethan.
Oh yeah, forgot about that one. That one's going to be good.
Everyone's looking at me.
Yeah.
That one's going to be good.
It's a sleeper. That was a surprise, so you have to tune in for that tomorrow. So we're going to do it in the 2 o'clock hour tomorrow. I'm worried that if we start the show in costume, that something really bad is going to happen in the news, and we're going to have to report it, or really big, or something, and we're going to be dressed like goons while we're reporting on it.
That's your fear every year.
Yeah, well, in an election year, of course.
Uh-huh.
The breaking news is Annie is dressed as a giraffe.
I was once. That was awful. I went to Johnny Brock's again last night.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, I hadn't gotten a costume for my kids yet.
What'd you get?
My 8-year-old has a lot of thoughts. The dress-up thing is right up her lane the most. My 3-year-old, of course, yes, but like if we didn't go trick-or-treating, she wouldn't know she's missing anything because she's 3. But, do you want to dress up like this? Do you want to dress up like that? That conversation went back and forth a million times. I went on Amazon and I kept looking for things to order that were like what she wanted to do that day. And then the next day she'd be like, I was thinking about doing this. And so I never felt like pulling the trigger. And then by the time she had told me, this is what I want to be, I went on and the delivery was going to be for today. Well, we trick or treat tonight. And I have had costumes shipped to the house that got delivered like after we got home from trick or treating on that day. And so I said to my 2 girls after volleyball practice yesterday, I said, we're going to Johnny Brock's, get in the car. So we drove back into St. Louis, went to Johnny Brock's last night. That place, when we went in and looked for these costumes, and you can go see the video of that on the Annie Fry YouTube channel, and you can see the different costumes that we were selecting for each other. And you can tune in tomorrow to be sure to see which ones actually got chosen. We went in and shopped that place before it was open to anybody else. We were, other than like 2-3 workers maybe, we were in there before anyone else was in there. That place last night was a mad house.
At 10 o'clock when it opened, when we were there, people were already coming in.
It was awesome, though. It still was fully functional. Like, if you are still thinking right now, it's October 30th, and you're thinking about getting a costume, and you're like, oh, I guess it's too late. It isn't too late. The line, if you've ever been in Johnny Brock's, you'll kind of understand this. You guys have been. The line went from the cash register all the way back to the very back of the store. Back of the store.
It's a big store.
It's a huge store. And I probably waited in it for like 10 to 15 minutes. They were so fast and organized. And Mary Beth, the owner, was standing there like, anybody want to take this out? Because you're not supposed to take the stuff out on your own. Because if you take it out and then you drop one of the pieces on the floor and then it's not full when somebody buys it or whatever. So they will open it up for you so you can see it yourself. They were up there in the front making sure that everybody could see it like the size and the fit of everything because sales are final. You can't buy your costume today and then take it back on Friday because that would suck. They were so helpful. They were so kind. There were so many people. There were so many people there. And I was a little intimidated by the crowd size, and it was still super easy to get done. So go to Johnny Brock's Dungeon if you're still in need of anything Halloween. You'll be glad you did. And tomorrow we wear our costumes. I'm going to get to the poll, Ethan?
You guys ready for this?
Ready.
Here we go. YouTube live chat poll today. Do Democrat elites really think Trump supporters are garbage? 424 votes.
Nice.
Good day on the poll. Here we go. 89% say yes, 11% no.
Oh, man. 89? That's like a...
Whale?
That might be near a top vote getter for us. I wanted to read this one comment before we leave. Bobo commented, it said, every time Annie says Donald Trump, my 2.5-year-old says, oh, she said Donald Trump. It's cracking me up. Donald Trump, little buddy. Donald Trump. Mark Reardon next.
Jams, kick up soul, pour another glass of that rock and roll. Turn up the band, find the hole, gonna lose control tonight. What do you want from me? I'm not America's sweetheart.
Attention, Missouri residents in need of care at home. If you have Medicaid and need assistance with daily activities, you can receive free in-home care from a loved one, funded by Medicaid with no cost to you. Freedom Care, Missouri's #1 home care provider, gives you the power to choose who provides your care, and they get paid instantly. Imagine your daughter, son, a close relative, or trusted friend helping you with cooking, transportation, laundry, and other activities in your own home. You get the help you need, and your caregiver gets paid instantly after their shift. Freedom Care has over 5,000 5-star Google reviews and is #1 in Missouri for in-home care. If you have Medicaid and want great care from a loved one that's 100% free to you, go to freedomcare.com or call 314-557-3027. That's 314-557-3027. 314-557-3027.
When Greg Hammonds at GregHammonds.com talks to people about health insurance, they tell him, 1, my premiums are too much. 2, my deductible is so high I never meet it. And 3, my doctor doesn't accept my plan anymore. Greg offers private health insurance plans that are not on the ACA marketplace. You can pick your doctors. For most claims, you won't even pay a deductible, and they're 30 to 60% lower cost than Obamacare. One more thing, there's no tax penalty at the end of the year. Greg even has plans that are guaranteed acceptance and available all year long, so you can enroll today. If you pay for your own health insurance, you're uninsured, you're on COBRA, or your employer coverage is just too expensive, call Greg at 314-794-7784. That's 314-794-7784. Or go to GregHammonds.com. That's GregHammonds.com. He can custom design a plan managed and chosen by you, not the government.
What's it going to take for you to realize the IRS is in full-blown attack mode, and if you have IRS issues, your timely response is critical? Hi, this is Lance Drury with the Lance Drury Law Firm. We certainly know the IRS has ramped up efforts because we're seeing a lot more clients with threats of intents to seize property or